What?
You're right. It's like darker on your right side of your face. It needs to be even out.
This side?
Evened
I mean,
out.
this side?
Mm-hmm.
Well, daylight is here, so we're working with natural light right now.
Mm.
What's going on, y'all? It's your favorite after discussion for our awesome show.
Yeah, sure
Owns Ready to Love. Yo, it's season 5, and we made it all the way to episode 12. Decisions. And we watched the whole cast make all their decisions. Well, those who are left of the cast. Anywho.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with your favorite host. What's up? I'm Jaimi Alexander, and you know we got...
Who me? Gustavo Carr. That's just I.
Hey. And you know, we always got to show love to our homies in the chat. What's going on, B? Coming through.
Thanks for adjusting to our schedule changes.
B said she was in tears on this episode, so we're going to dive right in to why the water works.
Why the water works.
All right, Gus, what did you think of the show overall? What did you think of this episode overall? And really, I don't know, I guess we could say the show, because next is the reunion. This is it.
Well, to be real frank, I'm happy this shit's over. Like,
listen, I'm with you.
Like, I'm good. I'm good with it being done. I think it should have been done a while ago, or at least switched up for me to want it to keep going, not to be. Yeah, it's just It's just the truth. So I'm looking forward to the reunion because, excuse me, protein shake.
I mean,
at this point, I'm just looking forward to seeing the results, because for this episode, I'm not so sure that I was buying a lot of it. If it was a stock, I would be buying one share and by the name of Clifton. And is her name Joy?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's Joy, right?
Yes.
I'd buy that share because I would be definitely believing in that to keep skyrocketing into greatness and abundance.
Correct.
Everybody else, they weren't painting a good enough picture for me to believe in it. I mean, I would probably maybe buy a very small little minute share of sorry, I'm blanking on names right now. I wasn't on Joy. I was being sarcastic, and then I just jinxed myself. Of Carmen and
Donovan?
Carmen Donovan, yeah. Just because I feel like, look, we watched the ultimatum, right? And they didn't even go on the trip and found out the reunion. So I'm wondering if they actually went on the trip, because I have a feeling that they probably did. I think that they're more in a stable, sure place in their life than like the 20-year-olds were on the ultimatum, right? So I feel like they probably did go on the trip, and they probably had some really great sex and sensual, and they just seem like they have fun together. Maybe people want to say that like friendship is there and there's nothing more. I know there's a lot of thoughts going on between how both of them act in real life, but I don't know. I would buy a small little stock for them. Now, coming to the other ones, I'm gonna politely decline on. So yeah, that's kind of my feeling of the show, the last episode in a nutshell, if that made any sense. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little like mind. I just got done taping a 8-page audition, so my mind is like still trying to come down from being in that scene and list those words like repeating in my head to make sure that I was present in the scene and booking a job, hopefully. So if my mind seems a little scrambled today, my apologies. But yeah, that's how I feel. It was a good episode. It was the best episode we've had probably in the last 4 episodes, I think, right? I felt like it was more authentic. We were like, okay, I'm going to shut up. You're waiting to say something, and I'm just rambling because I'm rambling. Tell me everything.
No, I'm listening. And how did your audition go? Did you get all that together? Do you feel good about it? Like done and done, or what?
Yeah, I feel done and done. Now I got to still edit it together and send it off, but I feel good about it. I'm really satisfied with the work on this one.
Well, good. I like to hear that from you, because
I mean, how do
you
I
give
look?
yourself a hard time. Yeah, you look good.
Great.
You look booked.
Yeah, and blessed.
Booked and blessed. Let's give Gus some love, because it's not easy. Auditioning is challenging. I know a thing or 2 or 3 about it as well. And it takes a lot of work. And when you're acting, you're really there. You're really in it. And I know you, because you're such a pro and you take your work seriously, as you should. I can only imagine. I remember one time being in acting class and having this intense scene. And then class was over and I was in the elevator and I was still kind of just like, I couldn't find myself. I had to like get my orbit back in position. I don't know. It was it's quite the mind trip. So
That just means that you were actually living in the scene.
Oh,
and that's the most important part of it. And that's, I'm sure you got great accolades from your coach and from your fellow peers in the class that probably were like, that was really good work. That's what happens when you drop into and you live the life of what's happening with that character. That's probably why I'm still like, meh. But so yeah,
it takes over. So I totally get that. And thanks for being here with us, because y'all, we were gonna do yesterday, but Gus was traveling. I was tired. Like, we do what we can, but we're here today. We made it work. I don't know if you could see right here my little pineapple shreddings. I was eating pineapple right off the skin. I didn't even cut it up. I was just like, anyways, happy Saturday, y'all. Okay.
Happy Saturday. It feels like a Sunday, but for some reason for me.
It does feel like a Sunday, but tomorrow's going to feel like a Sunday, I'm sure too, because I'm already giving it that energy. I need a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much with you on how I feel about, and y'all in the chat, of course, drop anything. You know how it goes. How did y'all feel about the season? How do you feel about this episode? To me, I'm with you. I'm kind of ready for it to be done, not because I don't love engaging with you and all of our people who come in here to chat, and it's been really fun. Speaking of fun, you guys can catch us on Sabrina's channel, Sabrina Soul, Sabrina 1.0, on Monday for her after show. We've been having so much fun with all that. It's just, I'm finding it challenging to have a quality conversation with you guys because we're not getting quality TV at this point. I'm having fun. I get what they're doing, whatever, but I'm a little less connected to the stories, the outcomes. I can't see myself too much more in any of this. Like, it's really falsified, except for, really Clifton and Joy, which is what it's kind of been. And this episode, yeah, exactly. In this episode, it was cool. So, it was what it was. So we can dive right into that. The show opened with Carmen actually saying she has questions about Donovan's readiness because of something that Sabrina said. I was like, I wonder how many conversations went on behind the scenes about that, seeing as how he just got out of a marriage. He has 2 kids by 2 different women. And it's only been a few months and he's been dating and all of these things. So I could see her having questions. That's only natural. Joy. Yeah. What do you think of, it's right for her to be,
Carmen is a very smart woman.
Right.
She's I wouldn't be surprised if she just indirectly had a conversation with Sabrina, overheard, something like that. You can tell she hears and listens and picks up on everything. What is going on right here on the side of my thing? I guess it's just how it's cut. I wish I would have saw that when I was doing my tape. I meant to do it. Yeah, she's a smart woman. She's going to pick up on every little nuance and everything happening. That's why I like her so much, because she's smart. Yeah, she has every right to be concerned. And, I'm just going to say it out loud and upfront. I don't think she's really buying the Donovan stock right now either, but I think she's enjoying the process. I think she's enjoying being right here and meeting the family, him meeting her. I think she's enjoying being here right now. And I think that's really cool that she's able to just kind of be present and absorb and observe what's happening in these moments. That's what I've gathered from Carmen this whole season. She's really capable of doing that. And it's not an easy thing to do.
Right. I think you've got to really be happy and solid with yourself. It doesn't really seem like she's looking for anything, and not in a bad way. Like looking. Like, if something comes, great. What's here? Cute. Let's go. I'm here. Let's have fun. I'm hella single, so we can do this, we can do that. But husband, love for life, I don't know, but whatever. So I think that openness and that freedom, it'll lead her where she wants to go, but it definitely seems like she's having fun in the meantime. And that's what it's all about. Fun is like one of my pillars. It's something we should all prioritize, because let's be real. We're here for a good time, not a long time. It's the longest thing we're ever going to do is like be here. So you might as well make it fun and, go all in. So I do like that energy when it comes to her. And I think she's doing the best with what she has.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, to go off topic like we do, because as y'all know, this isn't like an after show recap. This is an after show discussion, right? We just talk. So if you haven't seen the show, watch the episode. We're not here to remind you about what happened throughout the thing. Sabrina, when we do it with Sabrina, she's great at that. She's really articulate and like doing a recap. We here, we just talk. So what I want to say is that I really like that Carmen is able to be present and isn't like looking, but still intentional. I like to say that she has a good balance at that compared to someone like Dakia, who reminds me so much of myself a little bit in the sense that they're looking too hard maybe sometimes and too much and too particular, and just then they're kind of maybe pushing the energy away a little bit. I know when we were on Sabrina's show last week, the guys were like, I don't ride for Dakia. And I thought to myself this whole week, I was like, no wonder why they and I don't really see eye to eye much, is because I am more like Dakia. I am grown and I am sexy. There's a difference. And I'm not saying that they're not sexy, and I'm just saying that I'm grown and sexy. Dakia is grown and sexy. We move differently. Yeah. And Carmen is grown and sexy as well. But I would love to be able to emulate that a certain amount of freedom that Carmen has. And I probably do more this day and age more than in the past. But so Dakia holds on a little more. Carmen's a little more present. And actually, reverse it really quick. I actually think if I'm going to compare myself to any of them, I feel like I am Joy right now in this moment.
Yeah.
I am so clear on what my man is going to be and look like and how he's going to show up, that it's going to be easy it's going to be just like Joy and Clifton. We're going to see each other and be like, hello. Well, hello. And like, I will be just like Joy, and I will be giggling every time that I see him and like laughing and just like joyful and like embodying her name. That's really where I feel like I am the most in life personally right now, because I've been really clear. And she said that this episode. She said he's everything that I have been asking for. And now I'm scared. I'm not scared. I'm concerned. It's just now that it's here, what's it going to happen? And I think, I really believe I'm there because I'm not afraid of the future. I don't have somebody like Joy at this moment, so don't call me. But just in the sense of she's so sure that she can be present, and it's frightening because the unknown is in front of you. And it's not even frightening. It's just more, I'm repeating myself. I feel like, sorry. But anyway, yes, I love that. I love that about where she is. I love the way that she's been throughout this whole process. She's had her eye on the prize, and she didn't have to really have her eye on the prize so much because the prize had the eye on her, and it was just connected. But Carmen, sorry, I'm rambling. Just tell me shut up. I'm rambling today.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I totally get it. Actually, before you said that thing about Dakia, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, the way Carmen plays and the way Dakia plays is two completely different games. And, there's one point I would have felt myself, and in one period of life where I totally felt like I was a Dakia. And I relate to you when you say that you're a Joy, because I'm feeling that space too. But can I Dakia, Joy, and Carmen had a baby? Could I just embody that vibe? Because that's kind of what I'm feeling. There's a part of me who would be, who has been, I actually feel like I'm ushering myself out of that just a little bit. I got some, I'll tell you guys about that in a second. But, there's a part of me who is has functioned like that. And I almost feel like I function like Dakia to keep myself safe. I'm an emotional person. I really don't like to ride the roller coasters that much. If it's a roller coaster, it needs to be a good one where I can put my hands up. The way Joy feels about Clifton, she trusts his words. That's major. They reflect, they see each other. It's really easy. They're there. It's eye to eye. That's the kind of roller coaster I can get on. Some of this other stuff where I've made some different decisions, it really, really makes me uncomfortable, and it makes me Dakia a little bit, not that she's closed, but I know she's looking for her husband. And that's been,
She's
you
still
know,
too much control. She's still in too much control of the situation.
It maybe there is a time, you see how I'm like,
Yeah,
my body
yeah.
language is like,
That's what you're doing, constricting. She's
mm-hmm,
not open enough yet, and
mm-hmm,
because you passed that. You're past that
mm-hmm.
because you're open enough more than you've ever been in your life. But that's also because you recognize that you controlling it isn't going to actually give you what you truly genuinely are. It's going to keep giving you what you've been getting, which is not what you want anymore. It's time for the shift to take place. It's time for you to really step into your authenticity, for you to
Mm-hmm.
really trust in the discernment that you've cultivated so that you can be present and just have Clifton walk into your life like Joy has been. She's
Mm-hmm.
present, she's clear. I think Takia's still trying to figure it out still a little bit. She's still not completely clear. She's clear on a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it. She's clear on a lot of it, but she's not exactly clear
Mm-hmm.
because she
Mm-hmm.
hasn't let go of control enough. And when you let go of
Oof.
control, clarity comes in. You're like, oh, and you and I are definitely there. We have this conversation every day, and that's why we're there, is because we've been helping each other get to that place of just being like, letting go.
And it's so good. Even that, it's like you
It's like,
make room. Yeah, you
it's a
make
breath of fresh
room.
air. It's
Mm-hmm.
invigorating. It's just, it's
Mm-hmm.
change that is necessary. It's not change that is detrimental or hurtful to you. It's going to be great for your partner too. And that's really important when you're looking for that solid foundation for a partnership.
I absolutely agree. And that leads me to feeling like I'm in the Joy Carmen vibe because I'm actually ready to get my Carmen on a little bit. It's like a part
Yeah,
of me
yeah, you
has
need the Garmin
forgotten.
on a little.
I
Yes.
know. You know what I mean? I was chatting with somebody on Twitter and, I kind of typed like, wow, I kind of went out of my way to talk to a guy. And I was like, I don't regret it. And then my girl responded, she's like, I did that and I'm married to him now. I was like, well, I was talking to her and I was like, well, I think where I got caught up is because I got engaged to the wrong man, but it was that I saw him and I was like, and he was like, I made him mine. It was just like, I saw him. I was like, he's fine. P, that's how and so, yes, we got engaged, but I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not afraid to implement that energy anymore because I trust myself. There was such a long period where I was like, okay, well, when I go get it, I'm not grabbing the right thing. Let me not be grabby. Let me just see what comes along and accept it. But now I'm just kind of like, if I see something I like, I'll get it. If you want to talk to me, I'll do it. But it's like husband. Like in my soul, I'm just like husband, and I'll know
Well,
him
that's
when
why
I
we're meant to
see
get
him, and
married.
he'll know me. Yeah, I know. It's funny because I had that conversation too. People, they assume that I'm already married or already taken, and I'm like, nope. That's why I think I need to put a little bit more energy in, like being like, no, I'm available, and I think you're cute. So, and just having fun and flirting and things like that. But still, the goal is the goal, and I know I'll know him when I see him, and he will know me when he sees me. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I don't know. Maybe I'll just flirt with the pool boy. Who knows?
I support that. I love that.
Yes.
Um,
So,
something really interesting that you said, I think is really important for our viewers to understand if they don't already, but just to be open to if they can hear it, is that when you chose to get engaged to P when you were in your 20s,
yeah.
you were really clear and sure of what you wanted at that time. And what happens when you get older, it seems like because it didn't work out, we really start to second guess ourselves so much. We don't we don't trust ourselves anymore. And that's why I always bring up the tool of discernment, how precious and necessary it is to really tend to that part of you, because your initial instincts, your reactions, your charisma, your intention to go and to get is something that you innately lost because you started not to trust the way that you move because you made a mistake. So we talk about this every day recently, even more so just in general as friends. It's like, find that balance of trusting the way that you move and what is authentic to you, but still be open for the growth so that you can receive something, or else you're going to consistently start to repeat that pattern where you expect the same outcome because one thing impacted you more than the others, and that's been imprinted in your existence and the way that you move. And I just think even universally, and I say that universally, meaning universally in the universe, in this world, in this consciousness of which we all reside and exist in at this present moment, it's really, really important for us to just allow each experience that we're walking into in this next moment to be made new and not expect it to be what happened 1 step, 5 step, 100 steps ago. I just had to say that because I think I can see it and feel it around the world right now. And it's really important for everybody to really just stop moving forward with the same repetitious pattern of fear or how things worked and they didn't work or anticipating something to be this way and move with trust and freedom.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's definitely a theme right now. You sent me a meditation and I love how she talked about the new earth, Earth Day, and this being the new earth because it is. And when you think about newness, sure, when you go through things, it's beautiful to cultivate your own wisdom. You know, if you don't learn from what you went through, like, what are we really doing? But yes, finding that fine balance where you're not allowing it to inform your decisions in a way that's holding you back. And you'll know what it feels like because it doesn't feel comfortable. You're not the happiest. And I get we don't have to walk around like, but you know when you feel like, you feel it in your body. Like, you feel it in your mind when you're overthinking and when you have to like analyze and whatever. Like you said, that innate thing in me, you know, it's still there. That's how I move and I'm comfortable with that. But yes, some of the things that happen in our life make you want to change and shift that. And again, you said something about making sure to sharpen your discernment. And that's like the best thing that you can do because you trusting yourself that's it. That's key. That's major. That's going to make you move forward. But just having a balanced outlook on all of that stuff is, I feel like what's going to be able to help you with that. So that's really good. You know, even today when I was thinking about some things, I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this, but yeah, you know, perhaps some of the information came from the past as opposed, you know, and what I think it's going to be as opposed to what it really is, which hasn't happened yet. So no info. We're just riding, keep it new, keep it fresh, keep it free. And that automatically felt better. So that's what I'm going to choose. Those are the thoughts I'm going to choose. And that's the action I'm going to choose. And I love that I'm here and can navigate now at my big old age.
Mistakes are meant to be made. I'm not trying to discredit life happening. I'm not, trust me, I'm not a spiritual narcissist that I'm like, everything's good, ignore everything, or then just live in this falsehood of love and light and bliss. It's not what I'm saying. The mistakes are what make things beautiful. That's what life is about. It's just not allowing those to be the repetitious pattern of what you keep creating in your life. Yeah. They are blessings. Mistakes are blessings to help you find yourself in clarity and understand life a little more. Don't avoid them. Confront them. Say thank you for existing. And do your best to move forward without creating that mistake again. And you're just going to keep learning. That too, I'm going to say really quick too, just we need to be more gentle with ourselves. We need to be more gentle with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought I was going to sneeze. You're right. And I know it's going to come.
Did it scare you? No.
And what you were saying, you know, when you were talking about mistakes, in my mind, I was like, you know, it's wisdom, not roadblocks. They get to be blocks, but when you confront a block and lean into it and be gentle with yourselves and all the things that you said, it's not a block anymore. It's like it almost becomes clear and you can just walk right through it because and that's what makes it wisdom. It's like, cool, that's what I did. And, you know, you'll probably do more things and not being afraid to do more things that end up being mistakes in retrospect, but just learning from what you got. Like, it's all good. And being gentle, you'll give yourself the space. Being gentle is something else that I had to learn with myself. I used to talk to myself bad, like, and I didn't even realize it. Like, what are you doing? How is this? And that's just it. It didn't help. It only delayed the truth of what I really needed, which was more self-love, more self-trust, and giving myself the space to learn. We would never look at a toddler learning to walk and be like, you fell again? Like, dang, get your legs together. Like, you would never. They're learning. So,
I love little legs.
Those little chunkums, you better get it together. Like, you would never. You let that, and they don't complain about it. They fall, they bump their chin, cry, and 3 minutes later they're like trying to run again, completely oblivious that trying to run is what had them fall in the first place. Will they fall again? Absolutely. But at one point, they're going to be, this child that can get it all done, and they won't fall as much. And that never changes.
And they need to learn how to run. So until they learn how to run, they can keep falling until it's necessary. But if they don't let it be a roadblock, and I don't know when and how we stop ourselves from moving forward, even to obtain the things that we're supposed to do what we want. But we do. It happens.
We do.
We get older and our awareness is, we're just more aware. We're not living like the child self. Oh my God, my titty just popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're so stupid. I hate you. Yeah, no, I love it. It's such a journey. I feel really good. No matter how long or short you feel like it takes, wherever you're at, like, it's all good. I feel really good about where things are.
And wrapping it to
the world
this episode,
itself.
I feel like it's been a great journey. Like,
correct.
I just feel like this was a prolonged journey for all of us to experience, and for them as well. I think that's probably the thing that's the most obnoxious, is it could have been handled differently, so people's journeys could have moved forward. Like, let's get back. Well, I was going to say, Joy is very upfront when she's like, well, because if we go to where they're all meeting before Tommy comes in, right? She's like, I love you all, but I'm ready to go. Like, I've been ready. She's been ready for a while. I've been ready for you, Joy. I've been ready for you. So we get it. I think everyone's at that place. I really enjoyed. Am I skipping, or can we talk about the?
No, we can talk about whatever.
Tommy comes. First of all, let me just talk about Tommy real quick. Tommy looked so sharp. I'm mad at him though, because that outfit was so bomb, and you could tell that he had no man belly. Like, the way that shirt was still baggy at the stomach area, because that's where I look for myself every time I put clothes on when you get older. I was like, he is so fit. Go off, Tommy. Like, he looks so good, and you could just tell he's like fit and healthy and happy. I was like, I love it for you, Tommy. I love it for you.
Yes.
Had to give him that his flowers.
He gives me healthy and happy so much.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the meetups, I loved how Carmen and Clifton were just talking like the truth and shit, and how they were so supportive of each other.
Wait, Carmen and Clifton?
Yeah.
They had a moment?
Yeah. So in the beginning, before Tommy came in to give them their next mission, which was for the women to introduce them to their family, Carmen and Clifton were sitting next to each other while they're eating, and then Joy and, I'm going to keep forgetting, Donovan were sitting and eating next to each other. But I just, the pure joy in, no pun intended, but in Carmen's face and expressions and words for Clifton, and how happy she is for him and Joy, was just so genuine.
I like that.
It was nice to see two people a part of a very long experiment of dating everybody to find connections, at the end to really just support two people for finding love. It was really cool. And he reciprocated the same thing. And Clifton's a smart man. He seemed really genuine when he was happy for her and Donovan. That's why it kind of gave me the okay to move forward and be like, maybe they are okay. Like, maybe there is something there. Like last week you said, his mama was like a little bit like Carmen. Like, that dynamic is always healthy when it comes to understanding someone and moving forward. Anyway,
right.
I enjoyed the camaraderie between all of the couples that were still left. I should just say people, before Tommy came in. Did you notice anything in that
moment? I noticed
lunch?
how it was more of a cutaway in the confessional, but I noticed how Carmen, and then when I look at Carmen's page, it seems like her, Donovan, Clifton, and Demetrius were like this, like boys club, and Carmen, they're so tight. And she was like, "Oh, Demetrius, don't go." I don't know. Never buy. I was like, girl, but I felt her. I felt she was just being so real. Like, I could just tell. And so, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Demetrius, I do love that, again, the bonds were made. And I believe whatever that they have as friendships and whatever, I believe it's quality. I believe it's good. I'm sure Demetrius has great qualities. Carmen found them in him. They're friends. Love it. And I know she was genuine about that. So I just thought that was cute.
Disclaimer.
What? Go ahead.
Disclaimer. We do not know these people.
Yeah, we don't know these people.
we give them their flowers for being courageous enough to put themselves out there for us to all learn and watch them on this crazy journey. and let us see the ugly things that make us annoyed and mad and like not like them.
Right.
Because guess what? They have to see that within themselves, and that's going to be even harder for themselves to see. I get it. I've been there. We all are growing. So just a disclaimer, like, we are talking about people's ugly sides that we're seeing on national television. I'm not holding it against them their whole life. I'm not.
Correct.
I don't hate anybody. We're having fun. We're just talking about how we feel. We don't want to send hate out there, but there are moments in life where we get to experience these ugly things that people are going through and have opinions during them, but we don't have to hold it forever for them. If that makes
Right.
sense. So just had to get that disclaimer out there because it felt like it.
Yeah. Because if I saw any of them in the street, like, what do you think? I'm gonna be mad at Demetri? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You know,
I'm not gonna go up
So,
to him and be like, you did wrong. Like, you could have done this,
yeah,
and why were you doing like this? But people do that shit. That's why I have to have this disclaimer, and that these people are human and going through their experience, and whether or not they did gain the wisdom and learn and move forward from what they're going through and on their journey, none of what we think matters, people. None of what we think matters. That's their life. That's their journey. So it is, and let them be. But
yeah.
here we get to talk how we talk, and that's what we're doing. So.
Exactly. And then not to forget, I actually posted on Twitter the piece of the conversation that you, Tori, and I had, where he does talk about how people online take things personal. And there was so much of his true and real personality that wasn't shown. And so much that was shown was misconstrued, and how it was eye-opening to him that these are characters being made. It is characters being made. So I think it was funny because when we were on with Sabrina's Soul last week, and you did this thing where you like pictured the board of Tina being on the board and underneath being like the flake. And it's like, I could see her face, and it's like, well, yeah, you've been in the producer room because, you have the flake, the flirt, the like, it is what it is. And, but people take it really personally. My sister and I are huge fans of Breaking Bad. And there was a point where the wife on there, Skylar, who was the character, couldn't even go online because people were so angry with her. And it's just like, you guys, this is a TV show. You know that, right? Like, this is not real. But people have a hard time. They've done the same thing to Amanda Seales. And it's just very strange. So I think it is important to say that we are not those people. Like, and hopefully if you're somebody who sees things like that, you can have a really quick wake up call and not do that to people.
I experienced it. Social media wasn't so big back when I did Bring It On, All or Nothing. But I experienced it so much because when I would meet people, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're not
Jesse."
Like Jesse. No, I'm not. I'm an actor.
I'm Gus.
We're just doing what we do for a job. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you getting invested. We appreciate you standing us or hating us, whatever that is. But at the end of the day, it's really just healthy for you yourself, the viewer, to realize that we're just humans just like you.
No difference.
Don't treat me how you wouldn't want to be treated. If you're going to say something to somebody, always take to heart like how that would feel being said to you. Are you ready to handle that? And you might different space, but is somebody else. Like, the amount of horrible things that have been said about me or lets downs for me not being Jesse or any of those things it's insane. I was literally booked a job because I'm an actor. I knew how to play what that character was written as and to be that person. And you expect me to walk like him every single day. Now, I appreciate that. That means I did a good job, right? But we need to start disconnecting from fantasy and putting ourselves into reality, and then being able to disconnect from reality and fantasy. We need that balance together, so that, because there's so much chaos with so many thoughts and canceling culture and all that stuff, it's because people aren't just allowing people to have like empathy and be present for people. So Najee, Gus, you were on Bring It On or Nothing. Yeah, I am the male lead. My name is Jesse in Bring It On All or Nothing. And people are usually surprised because I'm nothing like Jesse. But there are parts of me, obviously, that are, so that's why I was able to bring his character to life through the writing. But
it was so good. It was so fun.
It was
good
fun.
Times.
It's a cult classic. It was an amazing time. Nobody ever thought that it'd, be as big as it is. I mean, I'm not some celebrity yet, that's walking through the streets and everyone's like, oh my God. Some people recognize me, of course. And I don't make a big deal out of it because I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. So
Yeah.
it's just life for me. But that's, I
Mhm.
think, what we need to recognize is that people like me, I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. You see me on Bring It On, and I'd be the only thing you see me do, but I've been working for 30 years in this industry.
No
So
lie.
let's have some kindness and let's actually just support each other as much as possible. And if you're feeling that space where you want to be hateful, then go live your best life somewhere else. You don't need to bring other people down with you.
Yeah. What up, Jessica? Thanks for stopping through. You're
Yay! I'm so
at
happy
work.
y'all here. She's
Yay.
at work. I love you,
I
Jessica.
mean, but
Gotta go in the
tune in,
bathroom.
tune in.
You're like, hold on, let me get on the real quick. I gotta go to the
Yeah.
bathroom. I'll be right back. Hey guys.
Right. Don't ask me. I'm the queen of work shenanigans. I'll be like, girl, put your earphones in. Post your phone up by the computer so everybody thinks
Ain't
you're
nobody
still
gonna
working.
see. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for coming in. Najee, hi. I didn't know you were here.
Oh
Anywho,
yeah. Yes.
point is,
No,
we're all
I
human.
love
Be
it.
nice.
Right. Absolutely. And just as I said before when we were on the show with Tori, like a lot of people aren't nice to themselves. Did I lose you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Oh,
a
I said,
lot of
although we're
people.
not going to be nice.
Yeah, not
We're
all
not
the
nice
time.
sometimes. That's okay. But I'm
Yeah,
not going onto these people's
to
pages
be
and I'm
like,
not like
yeah,
to tell
nasty.
them this. Yeah, that's a whole different
Never.
situation. Never.
It's so not
No.
personal. It's so not personal. Not even
No, and
close.
it's great conversation because through them, like we say, we get to grow, we get to learn.
Absolutely.
And so I'm really, really grateful for these people putting themselves out there. You know?
Right. Yep. Absolutely. So just to dive into this, since we've been talking so much about Carmen, first of all, her father is a character, and I can relate having her daddy be an ex-Marine. And her mom's a preacher. A Marine and a preacher, how do y'all make a Carmen? Because those are the strict, like, those
That's
are
how
the
you make a Carmen.
strictest, right? She was probably like, I'm not doing none of this.
100%.
Mom, dad, get me from
She has the
under your
most freedom out
thumb.
of anybody, and that's why.
Yes. Isn't that crazy? Yo, I was like, okay, girl, go
I
off.
loved her parents.
I
Like,
know they
even
are
more so,
such great
I'm like,
people.
they were wonderful people. They were just,
Yes.
he was
Salt of
funny.
the earth. He's so funny. I
Just
love that.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really good. And mom was really excited when Donovan brought flowers. I don't think I knew he had two kids by two different women. And I know dad was like, okay, well, how are you going? That's when he really started digging in on the questions, asking about, he cracked me up, asking about discipline, and she would have permission to correct his kids. But it's
Only a Marine.
good. Only a Marine. It's a valid
Assuming that
question,
someone needs to be
but
like
corrected. Yes. I was wrong.
boy,
Go run the stairs. That's what we had to do. I was a military child. Oh, we're in trouble. Go run the stairs. Just back and forth, just until we were tired. Like
push-ups because I got in trouble from the sergeant today. You got to go run some stairs. That's how we work in this house.
Yeah, I had to run the stairs. Go run the stairs. We'd be like, oh, like.
His dad reminded me of yours a little bit.
Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit.
bit.
It's very interesting. Definitely not the mom. My mom is opposite of the preacher, but it's definitely the military.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
If anything, my mom could be Carmen's mom, and that make more sense.
Right. And yeah, Najee said Carmen's parents explain her behavior 100%.
Yes.
I love that. She has a good balance because I mean, I don't know them, right? Obviously, I don't need to say that anymore, but I keep saying it innately. But she don't seem like a church girl. She don't seem
not
to
even close.
She doesn't seem like that someone that like when her mama came up to Donovan was like, so what's your relationship with God? I thought to myself, I bet you Carmen doesn't play into this whole religious theology and philosophy that her mom even does. But her mom is asking her husband, like, so that her future husband or her, to be boyfriend, like hopefully instills the same type of beliefs in you. It's like, that don't look like it works for Carmen. Why are you asking her that? Like, sometimes parents be asking the questions that are more better serve them than the child. And that's not healthy. Like, if you're a parent, don't do that. Stop pretending that like this is your life to live and your child's supposed to be how you want them to be. Pay attention to your kids. Pay attention to your kids and see who they are. What's going to be better for them? Ask those questions about them. Look, I could be completely wrong. Carmen could be that person. But that's just how I viewed it. And I incur that a lot in life. People I was that way my whole life. My mom wanted me to be what she wanted a man to be. and I'm
Mm-hmm.
the furthest thing from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that never did her service, and it never did me service. Great
Right.
mom, love her, but that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody. The world, me
Agreed.
or you.
Yep. Najee said, preachers' kids are the exact opposite of what their parents dictate.
Thank
They
God.
always the freaks of the wild ones.
Yeah.
I have to agree because it is, and like what you said, Gus, I don't need to repeat it because you said it so well. So I guess the only thing that I did like about that is the fact that first she was like, is Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior? I was like, oh no,
I
Donovan.
I
I was
wish you
like,
would. I wish you would.
right. But then, I love that they found the happy balance because I'm so glad he was willing to speak up and say, no, I'm not religious because he's not here to appease that part of you. And I think that is so key. But I am spiritual. I have a relationship with God. Cool. And I love that she was cool with it instead of like, it ain't a Jesus thing. Like, you know what I mean? Just God, I think they found a nice balance in that for it to be what it already was. I'm not mad. That tells me that her mom is a little bit more open and understanding and finds value in relationship with God. And I do believe she thinks that someone who has relationship with the divine would be good for her daughter.
Her
Maybe there's
daughter.
things about Carmen we don't know. Maybe Carmen really be in her Bible or really has a healthy prayer life, or maybe that is something that's important to her. Maybe it's not so like religious, but like relationship with God, some kind of spirituality, like is part of it, which I think is a big part because however you do it and however you line up with people, it's fine. But it's just so much of the discussion and how life goes and how you learn someone and how they deal with things. And some of the modalities that they have a lot to do with what they see spiritually. So just the fact that it was a really mini conversation on the table, I'm not mad at it. And it seems like everybody's cool with where things are at, which makes me even more happy. Like, I don't want him to feel bad because he doesn't do
Because he
Catholic. I don't
doesn't
do,
do,
yeah,
yeah.
I don't do that. I
It's
don't
a
do that.
spiritual.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
just wonder if, honestly, if that was me, I would have been like, well, is this a question for you or is this a question concerning Carmen?
Right.
Is
To the
that more
mom.
important? Is that important for you for me to be this way, or is that important for Carmen? Because not, to be rude, but this is me and Carmen having a relationship. Is that beneficial for her? Is that why you're asking me, or is that something that you want me to be like? Because if that's the case, why does it matter? Because are you not gonna like me as someone that your daughter's dating because I'm not
Don't
like you?
subscribe. Mm-hmm.
Like it's yeah.
And I feel like he answered some of the questions like that. Like, I'm
He
gonna talk
did.
to
He did a
her about it.
really great
Yeah, he
job.
did a really good job. Like, I'm gonna talk to
Really
her
great
about
job.
that. Yeah. I was like,
Really great
okay,
job. I loved it.
it is what it
Yeah.
is. That's I'm not mad at it.
I'm liking Donovan every episode more and more in some weird way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Donovan's great. I haven't got to catch as many of his lives or posts or anything. I did in the beginning, but he seems like a good dude. I mean, again, he was married, even though it didn't work out and he cheated and all this and that. He still gave it a good old Boy Scout try, and doing the right thing or what he wanted or committing and all of these things. I think he's learning, growing, evolving. And I I'm not mad at the way he played this whole thing. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't get anything too weird or off. Or he seems like he's been true to himself the whole time, even though we see different colors of him. He seems like he's being himself. So good
I
for
feel
him.
like I forgot what I was gonna say.
Donovan. Anything about Donovan?
I forgot. What were you just saying about him being himself?
That he's been being himself. He's been consistent throughout the show. He's given marriage and kids and all this a try. I feel like he's
Oh, got
showing
it.
up.
Marriage.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he was really vulnerable and upfront and honest with her parents about
Mm-hmm.
like his
Mm-hmm.
situation, and he was like, two people were in this together. Both of us were guilty, and because I think whether or not that's the truth in a lot of cases or not, in a lot of cases that is the truth. Both people have to be held accountable sometimes. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's somebody else just being like not dealing with their own stuff and going off and just messing up a relationship. Yes. But
Mm-hmm.
it's more often than not that that other person played a part in you going somewhere else to get what you needed because they weren't supplying that. And yes, communication can help with that. Like he said, like all the things he's learned are very there and clear. And I'm glad that he is taking accountability, but
Mhm.
also not letting other people not hold their own accountability and blaming himself for everything. Because from what I gathered, that seemed honest. It didn't seem like someone who was trying to deflect and just not take the blame. That's why I felt like I saw him a little more clearly in this episode,
Yeah.
and I liked it.
Yeah. I like that. I'm here for that. Go ahead, Donovan. Do your thing. I also feel like he gets away with a lot because he's cute. Because mom was sold. She was just like, well, I see all this in you. I'm like, ooh, girl, you just fine.
Carmen was like, oh, this,
Mom.
we're seeing each other. We're having that moment. You see me, right? You're hearing me? You're hearing me? We're talking about Jesus, baby.
Mom was like,
Jesus. Jesus.
oh. and he walked
Karma
away
came
from
through
the
like,
table,
hi. I'm here. Hello? Yeah.
focus.
I'm on a date with him. Yeah, not
Right.
for you.
Not for you, Ma.
Yeah.
Boy, these fine ones get away with it. Najee said, I don't know, Gus, cheat on me and you're going to lose the part you used to cheat. Listen.
Listen, Najee, understandable, but are you sure that you weren't a part of that process for me going somewhere else? Are you sure that you were completely there? Were you present? Were you making sure my needs were met? If I was making sure your needs were met? There's a lot, it's a lot more complicated when you get older. That's why long-term relationships are so precious and valuable, because you both have to keep being invested fully. And especially if you don't know your person well enough and you don't know how you need to still be there for them so that they don't go somewhere else, and you can't have those conversations and you can't communicate effectively and clearly, you're not going to be present for somebody. You're going to seek some type of validation, admiration, love, time, affection in another place. So long as you've given me everything that we agreed on, Najee, I won't have to go anywhere. So that's what I mean by it takes two. And I would like to keep my parts. Thank you very much.
And you know what? You know, Gus, I always got to throw something in there. And I hear you. But then there's also.
But there are people that don't do that 100%. I said that.
No, you did.
Said that.
But I wanted to bring up a clip that kind of went viral on social media this week where Shaq actually, he was on the pivot and he explained how like, nah, my marriage is falling apart. That was me. And I can admire that too, because there's exactly, you know, there are times and moments where you're just, you're not capable. You don't have all the tools that you need to sustain a long-term relationship. And I feel like the relationship that I was in, it was like that. I mean, homeboy was young, but it's like, you know, when you have something good, and this is when they start to spin the block, because it's like, dang, I messed up. This person was, you know, whatever. And but a nice mature relationship like what you're talking about, Gus, yes, it's the responsibility of both. If you withhold sex from your husband, you can't be mad when he cheats. You can be mad, but you can't really be that, you know. So stuff like that, like, we have to be there for each other.
The circumstances of which I speak of definitely are probably far and few between. There's more people just being young and stupid and going out and just making stupid mistakes. Like Shaq just said, I was responsible for that. He's a basketball player traveling around the world. His thought process, bless somebody who wants to even marry somebody like that. I don't have the strength to. That's why I've avoided it. But
I should have avoided
but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it happens
no,
a lot.
you're right.
Let's not forget
that
the other thing happens, because when we do that, we're doing a disservice not to everybody else.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to dive into both, because sometimes it's not the other person, but you know, you gotta watch yourself too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but then again, if it's a man and I'm doing everything right and he just goes to cheat because he's just not, I'm like, well, how did I end up with this?
Correct. So and why am I still here?
That's a little on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why am I still here?
That's my problem too.
Yeah.
Najee says never got cheated on. They all said I was the best person they ever met. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
I can relate
sweet.
to that. Not the
I was
cheated
gonna
on
say Jamie.
part, but the best
Jamie
person you've
gets
ever
that.
met. Yeah, like, oh, you awake now, but I've certainly been cheated on, and it's not fun. I don't know how you come back from that. So I hope everybody acts right, including Clifton, so he doesn't put a crack,
We can go there.
yeah, in the relationship, you know. So Joy, let's go to
Wait!
Joy. What?
I gotta say this really quick. When Carmen's dad was like, high five.
He was living.
He just made me feel so much better about being a 4-year-old that still does that. Because I was
Yeah.
like, really childish. And he was like doing it still. I was like,
He was hype.
good. It was just such a moment. I love that. I love how playful he was. The playful spirit that he embodied. Anyway, sorry.
I love that so much. And he was so proud of that moment. And so that made me even more happy for him because he was like, I did that. I'm funny.
Like,
I'm
going?
so funny. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you right. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really cute. And that's the kind of energy, you know, when you marry somebody, you're marrying their family too. Like I could sit down with dad and have fun dinner and, you know, get into his personality. He's not stiff. I think that's amazing. So
I sure would hope us waiting this damn long to find somebody that the parents are great people that we really thoroughly enjoy just as much as our man. I really do.
Please and thank you.
And so it is.
And so it is, because that's very important. Which is also why I love Joy's sister, who is completely smitten by Clifton.
I thought she was a lesbian.
She loves Clifton. Did you see how flushed and like she did not know what to do with herself?
And then he came in and she was like in love instantly. I was like, oh, well, I read you wrong. My bad. I didn't mean to judge a book by its cover, but I did. Right, I was wrong. I read the wrong cover.
Right. Because she was like melting.
Unless she is, but she just was still, you know, a lot of lesbians are really still able to appreciate men like that. And like, I mean, as a gay man, I still appreciate women like that. Like, yeah, I'll still be like swooning over a woman, but I don't want that. But
I don't want it.
That's why but it's easy. That's why it's easy for me to play a straight man because I still know what that feels like because I have an admiration and love for women. I just need different parts to satisfy me in other ways. You know what I'm saying? Right. But maybe that's how she is too. I don't know. I'm not trying to place judgment on her or categorize her or any of that, but I just assumed, and I assumed possibly wrong. I just think if anybody met Clifton, because even when I was watching this episode, I was like,
you said that a lot about him. Like, like he knows how to pull up.
Yeah. I'm like, Clifton, you are just like, oh, and I just love him for joy. Anyway, the sister was the MVP.
Yes. She
was googly eyed and she was cracking me up. I can't. Did Joy even say like easy? Because that was my brother and sister. I'd be like easy.
Yeah. Like, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really feeling it. Like, I was not mad though. I'm like, girl, you are smitten. You about to take your bra off? Like, what is happening?
I don't think she had one on. I think she was just like ready to take.
She needed some air.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it though, because I'd feel the same. You know, he's a manly man. It's delicious. He shows up. Yeah. He had on his little outfit. I was like, okay, Clifton, go ahead and go bag the whole room like you're used to doing.
How could you not giggle every time you see him?
Yeah. Oh, she was giggling her ass off this whole. I'm sure they did sound bites, but she is one giggling, cackling, laughing.
I don't know if they did. I feel like
she was cracking up.
She
was cackling the whole time. She was like, "Hi, I'll have a soup." I'm thirsty. I was like, "Girl, I feel you, because you know what? Love feels good." Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah. That's funny, but I can't even be mad. I'd rather you be doing that than crying. So please, like, you know, laugh your ass off. LMAO, okay?
Like being really compatible with someone's family. It was just so evident. Like Clifton said, he's like, I could hang with her. Like I just really enjoyed her sister.
I love that so much.
I love that.
Yeah, big time. It matters.
Like, hey, delicious. What'd she say when you walked in? She said something like that, right?
What did she say? Yeah, it was the sister said something to him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. I don't remember what it was, but she was like, no wonder you've been thinking in her mind. No wonder you've been smiling and Joy's face hurt because
And when she said that in the beginning, she was like, "You are smiling and
different.
happy
Yeah.
and different."
Yeah.
Oh,
I can feel it. I can tell, like, she's been
mm-hmm.
waiting for this process to be over. She mentioned in the dinner that it's been a decade. She's like, it's been some time, a decade. Like, she was like, let's just throw that in there. Because for some people, not dating for a while is 2 years. And I'd be looking at 2 years like, I'm talking about 10 over here, bro, or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. And so I love that
Mm-hmm.
she like pointed that out because that's a long time. And that's also what makes this special because there are people who don't just settle every 5 seconds, like get what it is that you want and lean in and let's focus on that. And I think that that's what she's doing. I think that's what he's doing too, which I love. It's super cute that they're both OCD. It is so good for two OCD people to be together because
Perfect. Because
it just will limit the chaos. Yeah.
That's just
Stuff's going to be in order around there. And he's not going to get annoyed when she's taking long to do this or that or vice versa because it's like, oh yeah, no. Could you put that corner, the corner, the drawer is open, the door, the misaligned clothes, like it's all just kind of like
already doing it.
Yeah. I understand that energy. Sometimes I walk around here thinking like, Lord have mercy, like somebody going to be able to, I'm going to have to attract the right person who just understands why I need everything to be.
Yes, you will. And you will have it. This is evidence.
Yes.
It's like that exists. It's easy.
I know,
moves.
right.
It can move just like that.
Right.
When they bring up the long distance thing, I mean, I know that that's been like the plot line for their
of the show,
their show for them, their conflict that they have to overcome.
Yeah.
And I do see it as being valid. I understand. I get it. It's something to overcome for somebody like Clifton who could struggle with infidelity because he needs a human touch and he's a toucher and he's a cuddler and all those things. I see that. I mean, so I don't want to play it down. And it must be really hard for someone like him. And it was really beautiful to see that Joyce saw that. She saw that this might be hard for him more than it is her. And she saw that there's nothing, she said it, there's nothing I can do about it. This is all within him now. And because of that, I could lose him. And this is what I've been asking for. Oh, that was heartbreaking to think that could happen. The good news is if it's not him, she's one step closer because now she just needs to be clear on that aspect. After I watched the episode, I straight talked to the universe and I demanded exactly what's necessary for me.
Right.
About when I go to work, my man is going to be able to handle that, be okay with that, stay loyal, be better and healthy and supportive. Like I went off on my tangent after hearing her say that. I was like,
yeah,
because I needed to add that in while he's still making his way to me. You know what I mean?
Be specific.
Very
and
specific.
This is a huge thing. Like, girl, if this is what you do, like that is all the way on the table.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've worked her. I think she has to be is she a backup singer? Do we know? Because I feel like
I think she's a singer, but I did see a flyer of hers and it's like just like all the gays, I feel like, and then she's like the main singer. So I feel like that she had like 8 performers. Yeah.
I had to have. She feels
you
so
might
familiar.
have it. When I saw that, it looked like that circle. Yeah. Like the dancers, the performers. Yeah, the back in the day. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. And she did call that out with him. Like it's going to be harder. And he keeps saying it. And I know he's feeling it. And, I'm one of those people who thinks everything happens for a reason. I love that he likes her so much and cares so deeply for her because I do think that this is something he needs to work on if it's going to be that. Yes, when we're together, the ideal is that we're always together, but
can we still have them separate?
Yeah, I think it's okay to strengthen that. It's okay to strengthen that, especially as a man who
relies on it,
fumbled women before because he cheated, and who knows why. But I'm just saying that is definitely an ingredient that will have you looking elsewhere. And I feel like a guy won't think twice about it because he's like, I don't love her. I just needed this, but you can't explain that to a woman, expect a woman to really be like, got it. It's like, nah, we're done, you know? So I think that'll be an important muscle for him to exercise. And I think Joy is one of the most perfect people he could do that with. And I really hope it works out for them with that.
Joy might be exactly what he needs. This
Kind of
distance
exact, right?
thing might be the thing he needs to shift him into his next level that he wasn't even
Yes.
aware of. The biggest
Correct.
problem he sees could be the biggest growth opportunity and solution to him having genuine, fulfilled, full love, and unlike
Yeah.
he hasn't had in the past, and why he's not with those people. Like,
It matters.
there's
Right.
something about Joy that even when I became clear and I like took a second and I was like, let me make sure I tell the universe real quick. There's something that shows me like Joy has been so clear and specific.
Yeah.
And in that process, I mean, we'll find out. I wish there was a show following them on this journey, especially because
Who knows
like,
what
that'd
we'll
be
get? We might
great.
get something. Yeah. We might get a
6 months
spin-off.
like apart and watching them and how it's happening, because I would love to see that human experience.
Yeah.
But there's just something about Joy and how clear and specific she is and how deserving and the work that's been done that I wouldn't be surprised if this was God, the universe's way of her, you know, part of her person's leveling up to really be everything she needs, which even
Yeah.
Clifton would need to overcome that. And
Yeah.
it would actually benefit him and he'd be better from it. And of course, you know, her as well, especially when you're a person, you're always reflecting. You're always, you know,
Yeah.
unlike
And I
these
think
young people think, but that's how
Oh,
real
God.
love and relationships are. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you nailed it. I think you're right. And I think that that's what relationship is. As perfect as two people that come together are or can be, there's always going to be these little like, oop, let me clear that up, blotch that up,
Yeah,
shine
of
that
course.
up. Da-da-da-da. So it's like, you know, it's all good. If there are some shifts and changes, he doesn't need to change who he is, but
No,
the idea is to
this supports
get with
him.
somebody to level up
Mhm.
with. You showed me an area that I would like to do better at because I want to do this for you and it's going to benefit my life. Like that's what I want. That's, you know, done and done. Like that's perfect. Najee said Clifton came into the meeting with Joy's sister dressed like 2012. He did. He had on his jacket. He had that little tie around. I was like, you better go on with your fashion.
I can't, Najee. 2012. You better go off and be specific and clear on that. I didn't even notice that. That's how old I am.
That's funny. Very.
That's some old man shit. We just be like, oh, this isn't 2012? I still would do that.
That is so funny. He was living.
But guess what?
I love it.
Clifton's probably just like me ahead of it. And I bet you in 6 months, everybody's going to be doing
the
that
new
again.
trend.
Like 10 years later, circles back.
Yeah. It always circles back, right?
I'm going to look at Najee's Instagram. He's going to be rocking the 2012 looks in 2022.
Yeah. It was only 10 years ago.
Damn, so crazy.
Yeah, I really love them. And I mean, we might as well stay on couples. Well, I'll just go to, I love how he said that every time she walks in the room, he feels goosebumps. He's so giddy and giggly.
Oh, he said he got chills up his neck every time he enters the room.
And I believe that, like, you see it, even though, you know, so good for him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of this. And she said, yeah, go ahead.
Look, I don't know where the future is going to lead, and this is going to be long lasting or any of those things at all. So what I say could be meaningless and it could come back to bite me in my ass, quote unquote. But like, I feel like situations like this just prove why being courageous enough, even if it's you messing up or something like that, to get out of a situation that doesn't really work for both of you is so important. So important. Like, to think if he would have still stayed into that situation that he was in and that he wouldn't be experiencing this possibly. And not to say like it's an excuse to consistently move on to get that feeling again, but it's that balance, right? It's like, was he ever getting this, or is he that guy that feels this all the time and that's why he's never satisfied? I don't know what that is, but to each their own, and I know they all exist.
Yeah, I wonder what sign he is with that, because there are some guys who are just so like linked in and want to eat you up, and then they essentially get bored.
Well, once they've had their fill, they're done.
Once they've had their fill, they're done. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this is one of those things, because it also reminds me of the reason why I'm not married. I didn't want to make a forever decision like marriage or children without being some kind of sure. So part of it, sure, could it be a little scary, but another part of me knows I haven't met my person yet. I just haven't. None of these guys in the past were like, if I was only here, it would have been. No, none of us. It would just, and that's okay. These were experiences. And
you may have thought you met your person because you felt that way, but when you
in
watch
that time,
in that time, but when you watch these people, you're like, no, that person will know. That person will know just like I knew.
and
You
if
know
I'm
what I
being
mean?
honest with myself, because that's another thing, even for Clifton's journey,
100%.
it's like all of this compromising I was willing to do was really compromising in the wrong areas. You do have to compromise when you're with somebody. There will be some shifting and molding, but the way I was doing it was not, it would have never worked. And that's just really me, you know, kind of fooling myself. Not really, because that's what I thought you had to do. I was misinformed
You were learning.
myself.
No, you were just learning.
Correct. Right. And that's what I feel like you said maybe Clifton has been doing up until now. And maybe he's ready. Maybe now is the time. Maybe this is that moment, and the woman and the timing and the, you know, I looked on Instagram and I see they both have, you know, king and queen tattoos on their ring fingers. And then they have like a picture together and you can see the king, queen.
There's something about Joy's freedom that she inhibits in her lifestyle as an artist that I think is innately who Clifton is. And he's been trying to fit in the mold of something he's not for so long.
I can see that.
And yeah, I feel like,
but you know, men
I know
need
a lot
that.
of men that
counterparts need that. Yeah.
They try to convince themselves there's some way, and then so when they don't live up to that expectation, they continue to make mistakes, as opposed to just accepting that they're not, and like looking outside and maybe finding someone like Joy, the clarity and the finding of the treasure of which he really was seeking after his whole life, which was, oh, I don't actually have to be that preconceived notion of how my family, my friends, society, my teachers said and thought I was supposed to be. And I can just really be myself authentically. And that's actually more like this. Oh, and you can lean into it then. And then you really are a king or a queen. Hold, please. I'm going to open something.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I think every man deserves that. Every counterpart deserves that person who shows them so much of themselves that you see a part of yourself in it and can move accordingly. And I know it's also empowering because when you know you got that person in your corner, it becomes, I feel like it becomes less about what everybody thinks or, you know, people, you know, we kind of had that conversation, you know, in our friendships earlier this week. It's like, you know, moving beyond needing accolades and the pat on the back from society, so to speak, and what you should be doing. When you got a couple of people that you can roll with that roll just like you and they love you and you know what y'all is doing and you validate each other and hold each other accountable and move in a particular way, you're less worried about like, oh, well, we don't move like that. Like there's more chords there, more foundation. So I hope he finds, you know, that anchor in her because she's doing it. She's doing it. She's been doing it. This is what she's going to do. And I hope he's able to be like, I'm gonna do it too.
I'm gonna do it too because that's actually
because my girl's doing it. Like, you know what I mean?
And that's more me anyway. That's I'm gonna do it too because that's actually how
this
I
is
want
what
to do
we
it.
doing.
I'm doing it because that's what I wanted. That's actually that I want to do that.
Yeah. And she's at home like, you tell him, baby. You tell him I got your back, baby. You tell him that's right. This is what he want. This is what my man want to do. And he's probably just like, just, you know, it helps. It adds. This is why people need people. We're supposed to be together. Whether it be friendships or romantic relationships, like people thrive having other people in so many different ways than one.
Yep.
Yeah, yes. So we'll talk about that. So who did we not get? I mean, Zakiya and P.O. What are we doing? Like,
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we'll just get that on out the way before we talk about the little final bridge moments. First of all, Zakiya and her mom are twins. They both met each other like beep, 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 beep. I was like, is this a mirror of like, same dress, same hair, same color, same stuff? I was just like, same walk. Twins.
Who wins?
Twinning galore.
I was like, oh, you know what? Too, when I think of when you say that, it makes me think like the part that could be holding Takia back is that she's still trying to be too much like her mom unconsciously, like that she
I
found
wonder what
enough of
that's
her
about.
own voice.
Yeah.
You know, like look, I get it. I have a lot of my mom's mannerisms. I was raised by my mom, so I have a lot of her mannerisms, and I'll say things like her. But it took me a long time to realize I wasn't her at the core, and that was
Mm.
I was fighting my own authentic self to be more like her. Not only
Mm.
because she wanted me to be like her, because that's what she wanted, but
Mhm.
also because, yeah, and then I thought that was right. So there was a lot of that. And that's when I let go of that. That is when I realized what I needed to realize to step into myself. And I'm wondering if
Mhm.
Takia has to come to that realization yet of, yeah, I can walk like my mom and say things like my mom, but I don't need to, I'm not my mom.
Right.
I'm not her. We don't think, we don't function, we don't act the same. We don't need to. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it doesn't work for me. And anyway, maybe she's come to that realization. I like that her brother's gay. I mean, I'm assuming he's gay. Nowadays, you
Oh.
can't tell, but I'm assuming he's gay. But I could see her being a great sister to a gay brother. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, not everyone's
Yeah.
a great sibling to us homos. People go have horror
Interesting.
stories.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
I
lots
never
of
thought
horror
about
stories.
that. These are things I
You
don't think
know,
about. Yeah.
so she looks
No.
like she was a very good sister to a queer man. You can sense
Yeah.
that from her. That's why
Yeah.
she's so worldly and open and kind and too nice and all those things. Is because she's not just operating from a single mind. She's in NASA. She's a dance studio owner. She's an artist. She's obviously aware of the queer community. She's
Mhm.
aware of her own straight community. Of she just seems so well rounded that she knows that kindness is more of the key than it is to
Yeah.
being anything else. And that to me is delicious.
Yeah. Y'all, we were on Sabrina's show and the men on the panel, when Gus asked about Takia, was
They were like, she's
like they just
boring.
were like
She's too
felt like she
nice.
was boring, yeah, too nice, too put together. They're like, we're wolves, we're savages. Like I would just feel bad doing her wrong, and she wouldn't be able to hang. We need to be
No,
checked and
she would
corrected. And I
she
was
would
like,
call you on it. You couldn't live up to her standards, is what it really is. You couldn't live up to that high level of standard of what she's living. She is a NASA engineer and a business owner for a dance studio. I think that's more fear of them being like, I can't hang with that, as opposed to being like, oh, that's not good enough. That's a great way to avert the fact that you're not at that level. I think I'm not talking shit on those men. Love the men. Great
yeah, they're great
conversations.
men. Yeah,
We're all different. They're great
yeah,
men.
yeah,
But it takes a certain kind of man to be able to deal with the type of woman that the Kia is, right?
yeah. And I do want to speak to
I say
that.
that
Like,
because you too, you're that type of woman. You're like a Dakia. You deserve a man that is capable of being a grown, full, diverse, open, clear, concise, intelligent, dedicated man. Not that those men aren't, but you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and I love with all of those qualities you listed, not all of it was about finances because people get that wrong. Like, it's a part of things, don't get me wrong. Like, please
Yeah,
be
of
about your
course.
money, you're an adult. However, I see so much going around, and there are people that are like this, but I don't think Takia, when I think of her being put together, it's because of the woman she is and her jobs and the money she makes and what she's been able to put together are a byproduct of the woman that she is. But it's not like my man needs to have this much money. He needs to. It's less about that and more all of the qualities you name, just open and mature and loving and communicative, all of these things. And yeah, some of that other stuff, oh, I'm savage and I need people to check me and da. That's still very young minded. It reminds me of men who like to
There's
date
growth
their
being done,
mothers,
but
and yeah, there's
yeah,
growth. Yeah.
100%. But you shouldn't need somebody to check you.
I mean, I get they
I'm
don't
not
want
going
to
to say
push
anything.
over.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
say anything because I'm not them. That is not my
Yeah. It
life I
was
feel
just,
I'm
I just
living.
wanted to, yeah, throw that in there. Like what they were
Yeah.
saying, just to give it reference. And it's interesting. And it's not the first time I heard that. Not
Well,
the first time I've heard that. So,
I'm really good at calling people on their shit. You know that.
mm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
good at being like,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 blah. In my 20s, it was probably what they're talking about, which was like, Oh, you gonna act like that? Oh, you're gonna be stupid. You're gonna be stupid. Stupid. You know what I mean? Like that type of
Yeah,
thing.
just very
As
like.
opposed to now just being like, okay, so how was that for you? Was that really that did
Yeah.
nothing for us, right? Like that's not working, is it?
Did it work?
You know what I
No.
mean? That's
Yeah.
maturity, though. I guess
Yeah.
no, because people. I can't call it. I'm not. Everything I'm saying, I'm being cautious because I'm not trying to put these men down or say that I'm better than them. I'm not. We are different, and that is okay.
Right.
That is okay.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up for context. I mean, I said what I had to say on the
Yeah.
show. It was,
Yes.
confusing for me. I was just
Oh,
kind of
I said
like,
what I had to say too.
yeah, you did. It was like, I don't know what y'all really want, but let's see. Najee says Dakia's mom is age appropriate. That's true. Her brother is a year older than his daughter. Yes, like that's insane. He got 27-year-old twins. Is this the first time we're finding this out? Because I don't remember that. I didn't know he was married for 12 years and had twins. I just didn't remember that.
So that's not surprising that I don't know either. But
it's just a lot.
When her brother was straight up like, "You're old. Do you have Do you have health insurance?"
They asking about his primary care provider. The PCP has entered the conversation.
Like, is my sister gonna be taken care of? Because you could croak any moment. You're kind of old.
Jesus, AARP.
I died.
Dialing them up.
I died.
Like,
that is the shit that us queer people ask all the time. The important shit that seems like it's off limits, but it's true. It's like you got a doctor? Because anything could happen. You kind of old. You gonna leave
right.
me?
Right. They are, and I know how it feels to be 27. You just think you still feel like a baby. Like, shoot, I still feel like a baby, but 48 sounds like.
Yeah.
The heck?
Now I'm very open.
Old, and now I'm
open to dating a 48-year-old. I'm very open to that.
Yeah,
but
I'm not mad at that.
Not Paul.
Yeah.
So, like, even when he came in and just talked about your mom, you're so beautiful, like your daughter.
Yeah, it's just
everything seems so put on and fake with him.
Fake. I mean, and she is beautiful, like, but it's just like,
yes, but like it don't seem authentic and genuine.
I'm not seeing him.
No, I don't ever see him. The more and more these episodes have gone on, the more and more the faker he's gone. To appease and play the game accordingly, and that's why he's probably a very successful human being. He knows how to play the game, but that's why he's single and 48. Because I don't see you. I don't know.
I don't see you. I don't know you.
You're
no
not
depth.
I
can't.
There's nothing there, and
it's not
and
safe.
It's like you've forgotten about yourself, and that's why it's safe for you to date someone who's 27 or 30 and young, because they're not going to need that core, that depth to keep them interested and invested in a long-term relationship. I get that.
Yeah.
So it probably is better for him to deal with young women, because
but he's gonna have to keep flipping them over then, and he better be making money because young women want their bills paid. Like, I'm not gonna be fooling with you.
He's making money. He has an 800 credit score. He's doing just fine, I'm sure.
That's right,
and that's okay. And a younger woman likes an older man like that.
Yeah,
this show wasn't for him. I don't like that he tried to pretend he was here for the right reasons and doing all that. I felt like he was just trying to get that check and that publicity. And at the same time, I'm not mad at him because he got an acting gig or something like that from this.
Yeah,
he's
I read that
well
somewhere.
Because of it. You told me that.
It's working
so, like,
for him. Yeah.
It's working for you, but like, again, I came to watch grown men that are 48 actually trying to be invested in love. What I think a man with the type of integrity that I would want to be in my corner next to me or in my friend circle and in my close environment is to be, they would have dismissed themselves from this experiment. They would have been honest with themselves and everybody else here. They wouldn't have tried latching on to Dakia just to stay in this situation and benefit their own stuff. That kind of gets on my nerves. To each their own, but that gets on my nerves.
Yeah. And I wonder if they forced them to do that, because without them two, what are we just looking at? Carmen, Donovan, and it's just boo. Najee says that PCP question was not necessary. It was a bit distasteful but funny. It was, like, I have to agree. It was,
I loved it. I thought it was really necessary.
I've never heard that in a date before. Like,
I loved it. I haven't either, but it's some shit. Like, it's the things you probably should ask when you look. This brother knows damn well he could smell it from a mile away. So why not pick a little fun and give him what he's really asking for? Good TV, right? Well, you
Yeah.
little old. You got a PC. You know what I mean? Like just yeah. I don't know. I thought it was perfect. It's probably one of the best moments in the whole season. I think.
I was, you know what? Pio gives me vibes like he's high. He's always just like, yeah, you know, and I don't, like he doesn't really react much. He's just always like,
Well, that could be it too, I guess.
Is he high? Is he just blunted?
He could be.
What's UHL? A come off UHL. Dakia played an equal part in their situation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but that's what.
Oh yeah, UHL. UPS is that?
Yeah, UHL. Her UHL. She for sure did, but I think that's like you were saying. Production probably needed them to stay, and
Probably forced. Yeah.
Capable, but did they? But did they need that? Did they need that?
Know.
No. They could have really given some cliff or curveballs and switched up the formula 100%. Because all of the people we're talking to are in the general consensus of like,
people are kind of upset.
We don't want to watch this. This is
we don't want to watch this. We're not feeling it.
So when they get to each other on the bridge, we knew this before it started. I'm going to focus on me. You're all these nice
I
things.
choose myself.
I choose myself. Okay.
I'm just going to choose me.
I'm just going to choose me.
So high ass. And I'm not mad at it. I'm glad they didn't keep stretching it because then I would have been more mad and I would have turned off my television if he would have been like, I choose you and I want to go I want to go to this next journey with you and figure out There's nothing to figure out. I'm sure you guys are relieved that you're freaking done with each other and don't have to say anything more about, I'm just trying to see where such and such is going. That's going nowhere actually. So why am I even saying that? Spare us all, including yourself. Set yourself free. Woo!
Freedom. Let freedom reign.
Yeah, so I'm so glad. Yeah.
Can I hug you? Can we hug?
And she said that twice. I was like, girl.
And then someone else, like, even when Carmen and Donovan, she was like, come here, let me kiss you. Like, it's such a different, and I don't know, people pick up on this or not, and maybe this is just my observation means nothing. But to me, when you watch somebody like Clifton and Joy, you don't ask if I can hug you or kiss you because you are both there, connected, present, and going toward the same objective. Now, trust me, I've been in a situation where I wasn't, and I was like, can I kiss you? Can we get a hug? And that's why I ain't with any of those people. And you just, as soon as you start to see that, when you're looking and watching people really trying to be together, if you're asking for a hug or for a kiss or any of that, you might as well cut this. You better snip it now because you're not there. How do you expect to get there? You don't trust yourself in the situation. You don't trust the other person. Or you're not comfortable with yourself, or you're not comfortable with the other person. You have to ask for approval. And that's different from when homeboy touched the Kia's booty without asking. That's different.
Yeah, no. That's a different kind of approval. Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I'm so glad you said that because it just tells me that, it just gives me confirmation that when I heard her say that twice, it made me cringe. I'm like, now that is a little put on. Like, girl, you're doing too much. It's like, whatever. Like, okay. It didn't come off as like cute and like, and she was being sincere and just, can I have a hug? And it was cute, but I just, that made me cringe. It just did. I'm like, just let's let it go already. And I felt the same way.
Fun. Sorry.
Nothing wrong with the woman. She's been a favorite this whole thing, but that made me cringe. And I don't want to be in that position. And I think you're right about just the energy. Like, let's just not do that. It's like unnecessary. And that is the moment where I saw the whole nice girl thing that kind of like doesn't really work. Because that's kind of nice girl. It was a little bit it just made me cringe for the reason that she said. There's no reason to do that. Yeah, it's
being authentic with him.
Yeah.
In her confessional, she's not being a nice girl. She's being very poignant and clear. That's the funny part. Her confession, she comes with spice. She definitely like has a point of view, right? And I think when I associate nice girl with somebody, it's like they don't have a point of view. They're just nice. And it's like, what do you want to do? Oh, there's like no self-awareness. And it's just like, yeah.
I get what you're saying with the title.
Yeah. But she'd be like, that wasn't work for me. In the confessionals, it's easier for her to be herself.
It's easier. She's safer there. Maybe no interaction with it because it wasn't really coming off in the scenes. But yeah, I could have did without that. And Steph Johnson, thank you. I feel you. That annoyed me too. Thank you. Welcome to the chat. It was just, It just,
It's
I think we're
cringy.
all
It's
in agreement. It
cringeworthy.
was cringy. It was super, super cringe. And, Carmen did the same thing. And it made me cringe as well. Like with the Donovan, like the kiss. Da-da-da-da. If y'all are really in that sync and that flow, like it would have been a mutual lean in. I don't know. The energy is just different. We didn't see any of that with Clifton and Joy, and not to compare everybody to them, but
No, but you're just looking for real love, and that's what real love is.
simple.
It's a great way to be like, oh, that's not real. You know,
Yeah.
that's what this show is about. That's what we're looking for. Ready to love.
Yeah. So let's talk about Donovan and Carmen.
I feel
real
like
quick.
Donovan and Carmen, I think that's good for him. Like, I think at this stage in his life, I really do think he's better with an alpha female for this stage in his life, like someone like Carmen who makes the moves. But I think once he steps into his strength a little more and assurance, he'll be more like Clifton and he'll be able to just move like that. But that's like a telling thing, which makes us question, like, what do they really have if they're asking to kiss? If it still feels forced, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Steph Johnson says when it comes to Takia, she's too accomplished to be demurely asking for a hug twice. Yeah, something just didn't sit. It just didn't. I was so annoyed. It was really bad. Oh, I love her, but
it was like she was like congratulating one of her students for finally seeing the truth.
Yeah, and he's not a baby.
Can I get a hug, baby? Come here, baby.
Yeah, exactly. He's a grown-ass man. Can I just... Why? Like, you know what I mean? It don't even seem like you let him down at all, and now you're giving this energy. Like, I can't do it.
Of course, they're all gonna be friends after this, most of them, because
when
you experience stuff like this, that
you're bonded.
You have an understanding. You've lived through a
unique situation. Najee said Paul's outfit from his meeting Dakia's family is the same one he had on his IG and profile pic for a few months. He's living. That's funny.
That's why his credit score is 800.
Right. He was like,
Smart.
when they talk with his high self, when they talk about low interest rates, they talking to me. I was like, oh my God.
You got that walk, that
yeah,
walk.
yeah,
You just
right.
walking down the street like, yeah, that's me.
That put this in your name energy. But I think you're right about Carmen and Donovan. Do I see them as forever? No. But could this be somebody cool and fun to go on a trip?
Learning experience.
A learning experience. She might draw things out of him and vice versa in a different way, which is going to lead them both to where they really need to be. And that's dating anyway. That's the kind of thing too that I'm saying as Carmen, I'm more up for that. I'm more up for like, this isn't my husband, but he's really cute. We have a lot of fun and I'll go on a trip. Sure. Like, yeah. And ready. I'm ready to go. If somebody hands me tickets, I'm out. We going, we out. Is that your husband? No, not. We kicking it. We're having a good time. Don't worry about it. And I'm not going to be asking for any hugs or kisses either. Trust and believe. What's understood does not need to be explained.
What else do we have on this?
Well, last but not least, I guess we could just close before we take it to the streets. I want y'all to stick around for our special segment so we can see what Twitter has to say about this whole hot mess of a season 5 of Ready to Love. We got a few, so stick around for that. But before we do that, Joy and Cliff, again, just to close it out with them. Every time you walk in the room, the goosebumps. I like on the bridge how basically they both were saying they were both tunnel vision for each other, and that is just this is what you want, this is what it needs to be. And I know how I love how she made it clear. They both made it clear in their own words, right? That it's you, it's been you. We needed everybody else to understand it was you. I've been on this like day one.
That was so, I think after this experience, even though we were able to watch from the outside and see that it's there, and they know too, but still not knowing what's going on with all the taping, everything, to have that reassurance and to bring that up is just so honorable and so mature and so scrumptiously, delicious. And the fact that his big ass pulled out 2 big ass fucking signs that you see on the side of the freeway just to express his love in person.
In cardboard,
like billboards, and was like boom,
old
boom.
school.
That was so cute and sweet, and Joy deserves that type of stuff. You can just tell she deserves it. She's earned it. Cutest thing. I would die in the best way possible I still find that stuff so cute and romantic, even being as old as I am.
Yeah.
Circle yes or no. The way she grabbed that pin was so giddy, just circled yes, and it's just like you can feel she's living, like I said earlier, through her manifestation. It's so
Yeah.
so cool. And the really, 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 really fun, cool part about it is her manifestation is just as beautiful for that man that she manifested. Like we
It's
forget that
absolutely.
sometimes.
It's on
You
both
forget, you think
sides.
like, oh, I
Right.
manifested this for me, but it's like when you manifest that real shit, the parties both involved,
Uh-huh.
however many involved, it's benefiting everybody. Everyone is just
Absolutely.
everyone's coming up on that, and it's really beautiful.
I completely agree. And, I love how she kind of shared her words of wisdom. Like, if you believe you're deserving and worthy, you'll have it. And to be an example of that, because we can say it, right? Like, we say it. And I believe that 99.9% of the time we believe it and we're in it and blah, blah, blah. But I know that when it actually comes, that the way you preach about what you're talking about, it changes the resonance just a little bit, because it's like, yo, like, I know this to be true. I know that if you just believe you're deserving, stay in this thing, and that you're worthy, and blah, blah, blah. Like, she's so sure about it now. Now she is a testament to the idea of manifesting and desiring a love and blah, blah, blah. It's come in for her. And I love how she found it valuable to kind of share with everyone else. Like, basically, like a don't give up. Sometimes that can feel corny, but I think with this, it is just spot on, and it is what it is. It's her truth. And I'm happy for her. She's 42 years old. She's an artist, and she's not been in a relationship for 10 years. So to watch her meet a man like this and them work it out, damn, I know that feels good.
It feels good as an artist watching another artist living the good life. You know,
And that's
she's
why I threw that in
42
there, because it's
and
different.
she's still doing it. She's still doing it. She's booked a job for 6 months out of the year doing what she's here to do and what
She's
she
great. Have
loves.
you heard her sing?
You can tell. I don't need to hear her to
She's
know that she's legit because you can feel it and see it on her. You can smell it on her from across.
she's so good.
She's
Oof.
incredible. You can. I bet you she's. That's
Her
why
voice is
doing it. She's doing it,
joy.
and it's amazing. You know, like I
It's so
said,
pretty. Yeah.
a lot of us artists end up being. I'll never forget this drag queen. Her name's Raja. She's a legendary drag queen. She's going to be on RuPaul's All Stars all winter season because she won season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race. She was in the dressing room because I go to Mickey's to watch one of my best friends since 4th grade, Morgan McMichaels, who was on RuPaul's Drag Race. And I was messing with some stupid little boy that lives in West Hollywood at one point. And I was coming to the show, and they're getting ready and glammed. Roger's sitting at the seat right next to Morgan. And I'm telling Morgan, I call him Thomas. That's his name. That's what I call him. It's calling him Morgan is still weird because I've known him since 4th grade. He's Thomas. But so Morgan, hey, Thomas. And I was telling him about this dumbass boy, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And Raja looked right over at me and she was like, honey, you're an artist. It's always going to be hard because you need it to inspire your art. It's just the way it's going to be. And
Oh
at
my
that
God.
point, I was like, oh, like, God, we're like a dead artist. And then I was thinking to myself, it's so true on so many fronts. The way that we continue to evolve as artists and keep creating the next step in evolution of us growing in our art is through the hard times, through the heartbreak, and through understanding life at a deeper level, which always isn't beautiful and all those things.
Mhm.
And when you sit here now and I watch somebody like Joy, who you know has been living the artist life, come to the place where she's said, yes, that's true. But I can still be incredible and learn and still be loved. That is really fucking awesome. And I love Raja
Gosh.
and I love her saying that, but it's not always the truth. If you shift that level of perspective and consciousness in you, like Joy
Mhm.
has, to be like, I can still be an artist, be me, grow and be spectacular and be loved and have a healthy relationship in my life. That's not just my healthy relationship with myself. I don't know how many artists really genuinely feel that way. We look how many people we watch on TV, all the celebrities. Do they ever really genuinely have healthy, love standing love? And that they need it. We're all different and they're all growing. It's
Right.
all good. I'm just
Right.
more like Joy. I want that shit that's real and delicious. And I'm so happy for her.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's so interesting. And, maybe because I'm an artist, I'm a creator, but I've also, dabbled in real world things like real estate, like the drier side of life. But I never really thought of it that way. And I kind of feel like personally, yes, do I create after I've gone through heartbreak and stupidity? And do I come to the other side of these things that really give grit and color and just like pull this stuff out of me? Yeah. But then I'm also so inspired when I'm in love. Like I got so much energy and so many different things come out of me when I'm in love, or I feel like I'm in love or going down that direction. And I just feel energized in a different way.
Yep.
And I'm interested in seeing what real love could bring out of me that I've never seen before, because I know there's more. I know there's other things. So I love, it's kind of like that conversation, that we had about Mary J. Blige. It's like, we loved Mary when she was going down and I'm not going to cry. But when she's fine, ooh, like people are like, no, where's sad Mary? Like, where's heartbroken Mary at? Where's the Mary that's been cheated on? I need some more like Mary J, So I get it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. But see, Mary to me is like Joy now, where she's expressed all that stuff. She knows how to tap into it when she needs to because she's lived those experiences, which are necessary to grow and cultivate your work as an artist. That's why she's doing so great as an actress right now. Yeah. She's experienced and lived all of the stuff that she sings about.
She is doing great as an actress,
and
yes.
So, but she's also got to a place where she realized, I don't have to be an unhappy artist to keep evolving. Because like you said, when you become happy, that inspires a whole nother level of artistry in you. And that's actually the key to becoming great. That's the key to greatness. Yeah. Because that level of love and enthusiasm inspires you and ignites you to push beyond what you even thought you were capable of. Yes. Because you didn't think that was realistic.
Yes.
So
that's
yes. And yeah. I'll never forget when I worked with Mary. She was the sweetest person. I did this campaign for H&M back in the day in 2004, where it was me and Tamara Gray were the face of and denim jeans, and David LaChapelle directed the whole print campaign and the short film that was shown in like movie theaters and on TV around the world. And Mary J. Blige was the narrator. So,
I didn't know she narrated. Did I? Okay.
Yeah, so she was third on the call sheet. Like, she was like, a thing.
Part of it, yeah,
she was a part of it. So, but like she sang that when I first saw you, I think it's from Dreamgirls anyway. And I just got to like, every time I got to hear that, her sing, like, just the heartache and the pain in her voice, just singing that little clip of what she's singing. Every time I got to hear it, every time they said action, I was literally, my soul was impacted every time. And I was trying to stay in character because I was supposed to be focusing on Tamira on the other side of the thing and be present and, performing as the lead. But still, just the life she's lived is so apparent in the work that she does. And it's incredible. Yes. And I think nowadays her joy is so evident. And she looks younger and better than she's ever done.
She does.
That's joy. That's happiness. So, that's why I don't take everything Raja said to heart, because that's a part of it. But when you can get past that, that's when you achieve greatness. And that was necessary for me. And I think for most artists, it's healthy.
Yeah, that's like that totality of things, because there is still, that's like, it's totality. That's what I'm saying when it comes to that. Because I also know when you experience the lowest of lows, like that polarity, it's almost like we need that as humans. Like you appreciate the deep love because you have gone through the deep pain, and being able to dabble in both. I think that was what held me up as an actor when I started. I'll look at old things. I don't have anything anymore, but like just from class, just to do and say certain things, it was challenging for me. And my coach, my teacher would try to pull things out of me, but I hadn't been broken enough yet to be 100% honest. Like,
or at least honest with yourself of being that broken, because you had gone through a lot of shit by that point when you were in class. But
I didn't realize it. I was still just like, that never happened. That never happened. I'm doing this now. I couldn't even But it's very interesting because, even if you have to apologize in a scene or have an argument, it's like, how heated can you really get? How sorry can you really be? And that comes from, these life experiences that you can pull from. So, I love that. I love it.
And take it to the streets.
Okay, yes. And the last thing I'm going to say about Joy and Clifton, which was the most amazing thing that I heard the whole time, which is what I really want, is she said when she first met him, she saw the best friend in him. And my God, I want to be my man's best friend. Besties to me, sex, husband, marriage, kids, family, all that is great. I need you to be my bestie. We're going to do all of that after, but you need to be my best friend. Like, we need to be homies.
I take great pride in being so many amazing women's best friend for so long because they all have, and you are there too, and you'll get that in a second, but they all have like such great men in their lives now. It's like, I know that you guys will attribute to my man coming in and being fantastic because of so much that I've learned from you. And it's like vice versa. It's just the way that we show each other love and support each other and are there for each other, all those things, a best friend shows you that the best, right?
Yes.
And then you can transfer that into like the other stuff, the sex, and have the relationship. And the best friend, that's when it's pure magic. And that's the point. There's nothing less. There's nothing all except that's less than that, especially anymore in this day and age, especially when we feel it also.
It's very delicious. And
you need it.
That bond feels so unbreakable. It's so delicious. I love it. I'm here for it. Yeah. All right. This is the portion of the show, our special segment where we take it to the streets because Twitter ain't got no chill. So let's see what the streets are talking about on this lovely Saturday afternoon. It's wild. It's a wild, wild west. Somebody even tweeted, like, remember when people used to come to Twitter to laugh, have fun, and be funny? And like now everybody's like throwing shots. Like, we're in the streets. This is the hood.
It's the hood. Twitter is the hood. I'm so sad Elon Musk didn't get to buy it. That would have been so great.
Oh, did something happen with that? I'm not up to date on the news. I heard about it, but
they didn't give it to him. They should have.
Yeah, it's because he wants to make it a free speech type of platform, right? Like no more restrictions. Oh yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're still molding minds here.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
But I'm just grateful he tried. There's somebody with money that's trying to do good things.
Right. Let's see. All right, let's dive in. Where'd it go? Do you see anything?
Yeah, I see it. You don't see it?
I don't see it.
Do
you guys see it?
Both of us. Yeah, who's on there? Can someone tell us if they see it or not?
Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a little different. My bad, y'all. Work with me.
Is it because I have it on my laptop?
No, it's changed. This format changed. But yeah, 6 months a year in Mexico. Why would you even go on this type of show? #ready to love. I've been seeing that a lot. People are like, why did she even do this if people are saying that? I don't agree, but they're saying
but let me speak on that for a second because that's the thing. I incur people so much that don't understand what it's like to be an artist. And they think the only way to live is like them. And that's not the artist lifestyle. I can't tell you how many people in my life have always been like, don't do that. You can't do that to be like this. I will never be like you. You're not an artist like me. And that's not me being like, I'm an artist. I am full-heartedly an artist. I have been working artist for 30 years. My life is artistry, essentially, right? Yes. That's how I work. There is no normal. There is no pattern. There is no thing that says this is how life's supposed to be for me or for other artists like Joy. For a lot of other people, understandable that you would be in that consciousness to be like, why go on a show if you can be? Why would she limit herself from finding someone that actually might accept her life and her as an artist to be alive and loved? Ask yourself that question before you ask why is she going on the show for 6 months because her definition of love doesn't even defined by your standards. We need to stop thinking that. Yeah. And you need to stop thinking that because that's not holding you back in life, whether you know it or not. And yes, I'm triggered because I incur that and face that all the time. And people need to have a more open mind and stop putting that poison and toxin into people's life because somebody not as strong as Joy or I are going to take that to heart and think what they are, what they're doing is wrong because they're not fitting into your mold. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
I went off. I'm sorry, but I had to.
No, simple and plain, because this life is, even though we weren't taught that way, this is a creative process. We're all artists. It's just, do you embrace the full spectrum of that side of yourself? You have the opportunity to, And those of you that don't, that choose a more restricted or comfortable, or just what you choose, then yeah, if you feel like you leaving for 6 months doesn't make sense, then you don't do the show. But it's doable. It doesn't mean like, why did she do it? Because look, the only one that left with somebody is the one that you're saying shouldn't. Why did she do that if she's going to be gone for 6 months? And it's the only one that's working out. So, boom, pow, wow on that.
Bam.
All right. Here we go. Page. They want us to believe they ain't knocked boots yet. Oh, okay.
Oh, right. When they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have that sex.
We're gonna have that sex." Y'all been smashing. You look like you've been smashing.
That's why we like it, because we know you've been smashing, and we know that it's more than just a smashing. It's emotional. That's why we like it. You ain't got a front.
We can see it all, guys.
You ain't got a front.
We can see it all.
You ain't got a front.
We can see it. Okay.
Okay.
We can see that. Okay.
We can. Before military dad and preacher mom go in, they should be checking their daughter. Just saying. Hashtag Raise Your Love and Fluttercat. Damn.
Dang, Carmen need to be checked. Carmen needs to be checked.
I don't think that's either. No. That's great. Like we said, that we already touched on that. Good thing she's not like them, because she's probably not authentically. So what are they gonna do? Check her to be like them when she's not that way? Come on, people. Stop trying to make people like you or be a certain way. Let's let people be how they are. Damn. That's the problem with this world on both sides, too. On both sides. They refuse to think like they want everyone to be like them, and then they don't realize they're doing the same thing as the other side, and it's this never-ending chaos. Just let people live. Let people live.
Right.
You know, I'm going to touch on this because I have to for a second, but that whole like don't say gay bill because you think people learning about it is going to make your kid that way. I didn't need to learn about it, and I still turn out the way I am because it's who I authentically am. Even though an industry told me not to, because I won't work as much, and I didn't work as much probably because of it. And it is what it is. I'm still being honest to myself because that's the most important thing for me. Yeah. I didn't need someone to teach me about it. Actually, if someone would have taught me about it, it would have actually supported me in a better and healthier way, and I wouldn't have gone through so much depression and hurt in my life. You can't use the excuse of someone teaching somebody something for your child not being what you want them to be and you failing as a parent. That's on you, because it's your job to be a good parent and support your kid and let them cultivate their own reality in this existence, not the straight and narrow path to be who you want them to be because you think it's the right way. That's actually problematic, and your poor kid is going to kill themselves. So I just posted something on my Instagram the other day. It's like penguins. There were gay penguins and lesbian penguins. The gay penguins were stealing the eggs from lesbian penguins. And I was like, oh, are we gonna get don't say gay in the zoos soon? Because it's something you learn.
Right.
Gay people and trans people have been around since the beginning of time. If you believe in Adam and Eve, I'm sorry that you believe in that bullshit, first of all. But second of all, we've been around since the beginning. So for you to keep trying to act like we aren't, just to fulfill your own narrative of not being a fully inclusive, all-abiding citizen to your children, is on you, not us, for being the way that we are. Do a better job parenting. Show them how to be free. Encourage them to be who they are and loved. That's all you really need to do. And then you'll see your child's authenticity. But if you keep acting like you're not seeing it and making them what you want them to be because you're afraid of something, then learn about it. Lessen your fear. Maybe you were actually giving that kid so you could grow and evolve from it, actually. Did you ever think about it that way?
Imagine that.
To be a better person? Anyway, hated.
You know, we're missing the mark when it comes to that. And this is why I personally stepped away from my religion myself. You know, it's hard for me to buy into God is love and then teach people not to function that way. Yeah. So I
trust in your God. Trust in your God to be exactly what you're supposed to be and your kid's supposed to be. Don't put it on society, other people,
or conversations, or this, or
come on now. That's a real easy way to try to get yourself out of some bullshit. Tried it.
Yeah.
You're too grown for that shit.
Yeah, and you know, I tell you this in our conversations, like I was, you know, whether it was this pertains to people when it comes to being gay and so many other things, but when it comes to this parenting, I'm like, wow, you know, when and if God blesses me, or you know, with the child, like I'm willing to do the work it takes for me to birth something, but let it be what it's going to be, and not control and not try to do this and try to do that, because to me, that's love. I want to love my child, which means giving them space and freedom to be who they are. It's my job to see who they are and facilitate that as best as I can. Yes, keep them safe, support them and all these things, but they're not mine. They're their own, exactly. So, and I can see how that can be challenging. I don't have kids right now. I can spit out a kid and be like, oh my God, I just don't want you to go through all that, and you want to keep them tight, but that's not love. It's not love
You think
for
what's
nothing.
right.
Yeah, or keeping,
that's
you
not
can only,
love.
you teach them and you keep them safe, certain things, like obviously don't touch a fire, like, whatever the case, but the restriction and trying to mold them into, that's just, it's too far.
I think it's too much responsibility for people to get to that place of actually owning it and being wise enough to do something like that. That takes a lot of work to get to the place where you are in your life, to be able to even bring a kid like that in. And then that's an excuse for you not to have to keep growing and evolving and just blame it on something else.
Yeah.
At the core, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Psychologically,
people think they're doing the right thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're all allowed to do what we want to do. I was just hanging out with my godmother this week, and she couldn't even I can't even say gay, and she's like, I just can't. And I'm like, you're my godmother. You can't even.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, she'll be like, I can't. I can't hear that or talk about that. I'm like, you're gonna have to hear and talk about it. I'm your godson. I'm a gay man. Yeah, but I just can't. I don't want to. And it's just. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, you can do what you need. That's how a lot of my family is actually. That's what I had to do growing up.
Yeah, because you got a Midwest
I still became
family.
the amazing man that I am, that I love full-heartedly.
Go for you.
Regardless of all the other stuff. So anyway, I can understand to a point and respect her for being who she is and feeling that way and not wanting to hear about it and keep her rose-colored glasses on so that she can pretend that everything is the way she wants it to be. And I see that, I can understand that, and I can respect it, but I will still understand it from a different perspective within my own being and moving, and never stop being myself because of somebody else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And thank God you have that awareness, because I could see how that would be. Well, we all go through it in different ways. So yeah, it's very hurtful.
She still loves me. Look at my earrings.
Yeah. Let's see the diamonds.
We can still just accept and love each other and still be different.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Look at my diamonds.
Come on, diamonds. Yes.
And
so
that's
fine.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yes. That's fine. Just as much as you can let me be because I see the same thing in my parents. I don't knock any of it, but it's like, I'm just not like you. And I understand why you do what you do. Like you were, you have all these things and I do mine. And, I hope you can just, accept me. I had to do that. I had to learn to accept myself in the eyes of my own self and not feel disappointed by not being something my parents might have wanted, and we're all allowed to do this thing. I don't knock them. They don't knock me. And here we are talking.
And I get it. Their intention is because they love you. I understand that.
I understand.
But let's learn to evolve what love looks like all the time, not just for ourselves, but for other people, to make sure that we truly are loving them. Not that your love isn't sufficing or isn't real love. I mean, full-heartedly evolutionary loving somebody.
I love that you said evolutionary, because the reality is the universe is always expanding. So if we're not, then you're going to
be miserable.
You're just getting
You're going to keep trying to hold on to those ideals, and you're going to be miserable living this life and trying to make everyone still hold on to the past like you. That's your own thing, not somebody else's. Then don't blame somebody else for your own shit.
We can't even do that now. Look how rapidly everything is moving. We're not even old, honey. And look at technology, like Facebook. It was like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
We had dial-up. My phone was the size. My cell phone, my mom's cell phone, was the size of this.
Correct. And not everybody had one.
No, and the dial-up computer, like, and now we can be anywhere. Yeah.
Get online.
It's like, I get it. You want to pick and choose. Right, exactly.
We had to evolve. We got to keep going here.
Yeah, that's it.
I cannot.
Speaking of, we got to get going.
Yeah.
In 2 hours.
I love it. I know. Look at us. Well, we haven't caught up today. All right. So the entire cast just lacked compatibility. This show needs to take a break after this season to regroup, because this ain't it.
Damn, she went
Okay, Miss
off. Or
McQueen.
he, I didn't see what their name was. Or
Miss
they, or
McQueen.
whatever. Wow, Miss McQueen, you went off. Now, I'm not going to completely agree with you, but I am going to agree with you. I think Joy and Clifton take full accountability, and I'm really enjoying that process. But I got to agree with you that they do need to kind of recalibrate what the working situation is going to be, because that's what you do. This is a business, right? It's a business. Your business model isn't working. Your customers, your consumers aren't satisfied, so you might lose that. So you have
Yeah.
to adjust accordingly. That's just the fact of it.
Yeah. I agree with the tweet. Everybody did lack compatibility, and it's time to regroup. So I hope they take a
You don't
pause and
think
just.
Joy and Clifton were compatible?
Well, they're the one. The season lacked compatibility, but
Okay, I
let's
thought she was
see.
saying everybody on the season.
Well,
The entire cast.
the
Yeah.
entire cast lacked
Okay.
compatibility. This show needs
Oh,
to take
that's
a break.
Jasmine Masters on the bottom. Oh my
I'm
God.
done.
She is hilarious. Such a mean queen.
Of course, everyone but Clifton and Joy. And because this is Ready to Love and they found each other and under the circumstances, like, I'm happy for that. So it wasn't all trash. We did these discussions. We enjoyed. I think everybody learned about themselves, which is something we really were excited about even last season. So it's not all trash, but there was no compatibility. That made it hard for me to enjoy because of lack of compatibility, except for Clifton and Joy. They need to regroup. I think we talked about it on Sabrina's show. I think it was like a numbers thing, like, "Ooh, these numbers are doing good. Let's get these going and keep these numbers." And maybe that was part of the business. I don't know, but we need a break, and I need you guys
with most reality shows or shows in general, though, like, after the working formula that they set the intention of it being, I think I said this, and if I say this on our show, that's why I didn't say it. But if I did already, my bad. But I know I said on Sabrina's, I think was, like after third season or fourth season, things start to shift to try to like you said, make sure it stays on it. And then, but when you're doing that, you can lose the whole soul of the project. And then you lose a whole audience, and you may gain another audience. You may gain people that like watching more friction and chaos and people not be compatible. But there are so many other shows like that. And that's not why you and I watch this show. We watch this show because we were excited to watch grown people falling in love or dating and trying to get to the real situation. And so we just expect more from it. But, a younger audience may enjoy this being more realistic this way, which they call it reality. But yeah, and maybe when you're young it is. But
yeah, no, you're right. It might shift, and we might lose.
And we're still young. I'm just talking. You know what I mean?
yeah, but like the ultimatum young, like.
Right. Yes.
I've been there when I watched The Ultimatum because you made me watch it, and I didn't hate it, but I was like, I've been there.
That's why it's fun watching it. Yeah.
I've been there. So, but yeah, I will never go back. It's over. All of that energy is gone.
It's a reminder and pat on the back that you have overcome all that shit. Because sometimes you can think that you might still be acting like that or still that way, but when you're older and you watch that, you're like, oh yeah, thank God I'm past that shit. Oh, I really am capable of being. Oh, I have grown. Oh, it's like a nice little reminder, right? And that's why I guess with this show, I want to see people that are in that space and being like, yes, I am ready, as opposed to being like, oh, because yes, of course, I still exist at our age too. But like, there's other shows for that. Let's keep this,
Keep it classy.
Let's keep making love happen.
Yes.
Let's keep making love happen, and let's keep showing the world that it is possible. And that we are capable, that we are worthy and deserving. And let's find those people who are in that space like Joy and Clifton and the ones that succeed. And let's hope that more of those people apply and want to be on it and are cast, and that we get more of that. We need more of that in this world.
We do, because we have plenty of the other stuff. You can go online and find plenty of people arguing, plenty of people cheating, plenty of people breaking up, getting divorced. Like the streets, Twitter. We're seeing plenty, but like, I personally, I would love to see more. And I keep harping on Joy and Clifton because there's so much that I can glean from that. Last season, I was able to glean a lot from Sabrina for walking her tail away. Now we know a lot of behind the scenes now, but still it's like, do you see the progression? It still needs to happen. Like, be willing to walk away. That was a lesson too, even though there was no grand love. It's like, I'm gonna leave this brother right here on the bridge because he's not consistent. I'm not feeling right. He's not giving. And then now here this season, we're getting love from someone who's been single for 10 years, someone else who's been divorced, someone like, so there's some progression. I'm seeing some juice, like something I can get into.
We just want more of this show. We don't want it to end, and we're just, saying how we feel in hopes that they adjust accordingly and
Yeah.
keep their audience growing and the ones that are watching it growing with them still and all that stuff. And everything has its time and it will end eventually. But I guess just the longer it's going to be on, I hope that they can kind of tend and cater to the people like us who want the real deal.
Yeah, us and so many more, because we are not the only ones saying this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's our last slide. We don't need another season of #ready to love until they find people who are actually ready to love.
Thanks, Nay, sweet.
Thanks.
You're right. That's what we just said. 100%.
Yeah, there's so many people saying that. So there's something to that. It is what it is, but good job to season 5, done and done.
Hold up. I do want to say, I think there is a thing of thinking that you're ready and then just not being ready and that's showing, but I didn't see that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see us just. There were a couple of people, but obviously they are ready to love because a lot of them have dismissed themselves from relationships now. So it's like, but you hear what I'm saying? I want to make sure that's clear too. Like we love to see people who think they're ready and they just might not be, and they learn that through their experience. But let's watch that unfold authentically so we can grow and learn from that and witness that, as opposed to being produced that way.
Yeah.
And then having, more people really ready and, supplying them the means to do so.
Yeah, because this season I got tired of hearing the same phrases, here for the process, and you could just hear his force when Clifton is clearly like, Joy's my number one, the energy, but I'm still something to keep. There's just too many things where it was two producers hands-on. So you're right. It's not bad that we saw Sabrina 2.0, not really 2.0 it, or that Demetrius may not really be, or letting people figure out their stuff. So that's not bad because that sounds like part of it, but all of the little extra.
Yeah, but they weren't ready though. That's the thing. You know what I mean? It's more fun when you watch someone who was ready realize they weren't. From the jump, we could tell Sabrina wasn't ready. Like we called that from a mile away. That's different. I'm talking about get people you think are really ready, genuinely ready, and then let them authentically be like, oh shit, I'm actually not ready, and be like,
who do you think?
Bad.
Anybody from this season that you think did that? Or last season even? Anybody from this season or last season you think was just so ready and then it was like, ooh, I'm actually not, genuinely.
And I think full-heartedly ready, you mean? And I witnessed that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think, well, from this season, our boy Tori, I really think he's ready. We got to talk to him. And the way he's a father to his kids, he's a good amazing man. He's ready.
Yeah.
Even our girl Sabrina, I would love to say I think she's ready, but she'd be crushing on PO. And I'm like, girl, you ain't ready if you like PO. I know she's capable.
She's very capable, yeah.
She's extremely capable, and she is ready. But you need to stop liking people like PO. And then who else? No, I don't think Sydney or Frank were ever really ready from last season. I'm trying to think of Camille and I think they were. I'm not gonna talk about that. I think Phil. I'm gonna say Phil from last season. I think he might have actually been ready.
Yeah, I'm actually not mad at that.
I think he just came to realize that, like we were talking about, I think he genuinely came to the realization that he might not be. Or at least that, I think he did, because if he really was ready, then him and Homegirl would be together. So maybe that was a part of it. Look, the reunion's next week, and we're going to see so much juicy stuff. And even then, though, we're still not going to be able to completely trust it. So I can't wait to talk about it. Because, hello, Bill and Sydney were fronting the whole time, But anyways, what about you? Anybody that you think, you genuinely think was like, oh, I'm ready, and they just really weren't? From these last 2 seasons that we've been talking about this?
I do feel what you say about Phil, because he does seem ready, but I'm almost certain he learned something that he needed to see that he can go back and clean up for himself on his own. That'll just tighten that up. And now it'll be like, you know, whatever that's going to be. Definitely agree that Tori was ready. I just think his girl wasn't on there. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way Tori functions or moves or thinks or believe. I don't see anything like, well, if he just, you know, I think he's solid. I tried to even think, and I tried to even go through all the girls. You know, I like Courtney, I like her energy, but she's so wild. Like, I'm not.
She wasn't ready.
Yeah, it just doesn't. You know, I couldn't really. I think Takia's ready.
I think Takia's ready. I think Carmen's ready. It just ain't her person, but I think she's ready. I think if the right person came in, I think
the
Carmen's
right
ready.
person. She needs somebody who can play with her, but it also gonna be like, girl, who gonna give her a little like a man. He's more alpha than her. Someone.
I
more
think Laverne is ready.
Hmm?
Speaking of alpha, I think Laverne's ready.
Not me, but that's just me.
And I think he's probably still playing the field, but I think he's ready. I think he's just really picky, and maybe that's just me trying to think like maybe we're like a little bit. Maybe I'm whatever. But who?
He seems resistant to change for me. Laverne for me, and I don't know him, but the energy I get is that he
is expecting someone to meet him where he is.
But he doesn't really. I don't know. I can't. Laverne, to me, it seems like is he? He doesn't strike me as the person who is really willing to change. Like, to me, it seems like he might. Okay, God, how do you say this? It's like somebody who thinks they're. I don't want to say perfect, but I'm just going to use it for lack of better communication. Somebody who thinks they're perfect, but doesn't really think they're perfect, but won't allow someone to share what could change because they're holding the perfect persona, and it wounds the one inside that knows they're not perfect, but you're not willing to change because you're perfect. You're playing perfect.
I see that. I think it's the right person. I think someone like Joy was good for him because I think he was willing to listen and hear what she had to say.
You think Joy was good for him? I thought Ace was good for him because she seemed to, but
Joy. Ace is Ace, I think secretly is just as much of a control freak as he is. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, so, but someone like Joy who still embodies that freedom, and I think it's just the right person. I think he's willing to hear. He just needs to hear from a certain set of lips. I do think if the right pair of lips came in, he would hear it. I don't see him being that resistant. He's been resistant to a lot for sure. But I think if the right pair of lips came in, I think he can hear it. I think he's ready to hear it. But he would have to trust. He'd have to put his guard down. They'd have to make him feel that way, and all the stuff that we all need too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
But it almost reminds me of that energy that we feel like Takia needs to move out of.
Correct, 100%.
Yeah. Because he's not a bad guy. It's not that, but I don't know about ready. And it's not like, I don't know. What do I know?
Aisha? I think she was ready.
Yeah.
She just made a bad choice.
Yes. And I understand,
She bought the wrong stock.
She bought the wrong stock
that she was gonna make a lot of money off of, and she bought it, and it wasn't what it promised itself to be.
A shell of a stock. Yeah.
And
Tyrone was ready. I liked Tyrone last season. Last season, I was like,
I don't think Tyrone was ready last season, though.
I think he needed to go through what he did, but I could see his effort. And last season, he always had that special thing where it was like, he was different, and he was willing to put it all on the table. He said what he wanted to say, how he wanted to say. He moved authentically. I think that show he was like this, and then it was like, okay, now he's on his 2 feet. He stabilized. The show stabilized him.
I think Tyrone proved to himself that he's ready from the show. Like he's come into this. He's from the show. Tyrone has come into himself because of it.
Yes.
And yeah. Now I think he's complete. I mean, I hope that him and Ace work out. I think.
Yeah, they seem to be a really great fit. being that we watched them both on the show, they seem to be a really great fit. But it's also the honeymoon phase, and that always looks absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
and
to be determined.
Some things. Yeah.
But I do think Tyrone is ready, and I really do like Tyrone as a person. When we get to talk with him on the panel, I like him. He seems like he is a really cool, really nice human being. I like him a lot.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I really think that's it. Unless I can't. Everybody else was just filler fun. I don't know.
Not that I didn't like them. I
we
liked mostly everybody.
Them.
Yeah.
Love.
But just we're talking about ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Even Sydney, when I watch her stuff, she has, I feel like, what it takes, what a man wants. I don't know. Maybe she just hasn't found her person, but she seems to be. I know guys don't always like the nightlife thing. They don't always want to see their girl out and plastered and dressed a certain way or attracting certain kind of attention for their job. I understand that's not everyone's cup of tea. But outside of that, I'm like, the girl keeps herself up. She's really sweet and funny. She communicated very well on the last season. She was kind. Yeah. She can cook. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She's doing her business. I think she's a catch.
And I think men associate all those things with someone that they can't trust to be ready, though. But I like that you just proved how she is ready. But I think that's a lot of responsibility for a man to be able to handle all that comes with her. It's going to take a very strong, secure man to handle someone like her. And when he does come into her life, it's going to be great because she is more than capable and deserving. And like you said, everything. She's all of it. She's all of it. And her lifestyle is going to be something that is, not for everybody, but I don't see having that lifestyle forever. So,
no. Yeah, I don't know how old she is, but I don't think it would be forever either. But she's got the bombshell thing going on and, who knows. But yeah, when the right one comes around, I think she'll be just fine because she strikes me as somebody who can handle herself. I'm not going to, because of all her other qualities,
And she's in it to grow and she's willing and Oh,
yeah.
I think my things are dying. Time to go.
That's okay. It's time to go. We didn't give y'all 2 hours. We'll see you next week. Make sure to catch us on Sabrina Soul's show on Monday. And we'll see you guys to talk about the reunion. B said it's about to go down Springer style.
Yeah. I hope so, B. That'll be delicious. I still watch clips of Springer on YouTube just to get that.
Yeah, or Maury.
My childhood of memories.
Yes.
All right. I love you guys. Thanks for coming back, hanging out with us.
Week.
Love you, best friend. More. Bye.
Bye.